Good sunny day, everyone. It's me, your friendly intergalactic sun prince of the sun, Enyo Solaris to Moshimas. Also, I don't think you can hear this audio at all, so let's turn it up a little bit. You can also call me Solaris or Soul if you want, because if you want to be a buddy. But if you want to be prim and proper, then it's Enyo-sama to you, you pathetic little earthling. I mean, I'm sorry I didn't mean to call you pathetic. I mean, it was a joke. I was just trying to be cool in front of my friends, guys. This layout does not work. We're gonna zoom in a little. It looks like I'm just giant. It looks like I'm a big giant. So we'll come a little closer to the screen. Yeah, this has a good this song's a little too boppy maybe. Please let me know if you want me to change the song, or if I told you no system. Oh, that doesn't count as a system sound. Let me know if you want me to change the song, or if you don't even want it at all. Because I'm still back and forth on that, because most podcasts don't usually have a background thing, but a lot of like VTuber Dandadan things do have background music, so I don't know, man. It's somewhat fitting, as long as you can effing hear it. Meow 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 meow. So how's it going? Things do have background music, so I don't know, man. Okay, whatever. I don't care. We gotta start the stream. We gotta start the effing stream. So how's it going? You see, aren't you glad that I cut out that whole intro bit? So now VOD viewers, podcast listeners can just get straight into me talking about Dandadan, which I don't do for which I'm not going to do for several minutes. You know, it's just how it goes, man. It's just how it goes. Am I centered in the screen? Speaking of starting the things starting on time, how's it going? What's up? We're talking about Dandadan, 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 Dandadan. Dun 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 dun. Okay, now that we have filtered out most of the viewers, now we can actually get talking about anime. Yeah, see, some parts of the song are louder than others. Okay, so how's it going? We're talking about Dandadan, Dandadan. And I'm prepared, I promise. And I'm not just going to keep going Dandadan, and not actually talk about the effing show. Dandadan is a 2024 anime based on the manga, which is ongoing from 2021. And I thought it was pretty effing cool. Will be split up into, okay, if for any VOD watchers still here, this will be split up into several sections. The first section is the spoiler-free intro. After that, we'll just go, like, arc by arc, like, groups of episodes, and talk about that. So, if you have not seen Dandadan, then keep watching. When she dawned on my dawn, dude, when the dawn dawned, I got chills, like literal chills. It was that good. So yeah, we're doing the spoiler-free intro, and then after that, spoilers for at least season 1 is what we are talking about, because there is a confirmed season 2, but I have not watched the season 2 because it doesn't exist, and I have not read the manga, and even if I had, no spoilers past season 1. And as per usual goes in my streams, I don't spoil things that haven't happened yet. So yeah, Dandadan is a pretty effing weird ass show. If I if I have to describe it, also we're just gonna have this on here. Also, just to get this out of my system, because it's gonna be in the back on the back of my mind for until it happens. So we just gotta get it out of the way first. There we go. Ordinary people versus creative people versus fighting Polygon team. Okay, done. Done. I'm pretty sure like half my notes are about the first episode, but we can talk about that. This is still the spoiler-free intro. Also, does episode also hi Tevin? I've not also hi Mar, and also Uvu was here. Believe me, don't I have no proof of him of them being here, but shut up. Anyway, so yeah, if I have to describe Dandadan, it's like a shonen. It is at the end of the day a shonen like battle manga, but it's also kind of like a rom-com and also like a psychological horror and also like a weird art house project. Like things listen, they get superpowers, they fight bad guys, things get really weird really quickly, okay? There's still a lot of like fights, but like if you like fights, then yeah, but like if you go into this thinking like, yeah, it's gonna be like a battle anime, it's like, yeah, but also a fun fact, before the series was out, and I saw like the description of like the anime, I assumed it was like one of those like Japanese kids shows where they like investigate paranormal stuff, like yeah, there's a lot. I'm blanking on the names, but yeah, that is a common thing in a lot of popular shows are like that, but like, absolutely not. That is not what this show is. I don't even know if I would recommend this show for its like target demographic of shonen, because I think it might be in like shonen like plus. Yeah, Shonen Jump Plus. Is that just like I think that's like the adult side, the like older side of Shonen Jump, but not necessarily, yeah, this is definitely like the older audience of Shonen Jump. So that, you know, what works out. Mentally unstable teens. Again, yes, that does describe the show, but that describes pretty much every single anime. But yeah, I am completely wrong. The show is like off the rails. But I should have known that because synopsis of anime are always bad. Like I can watch like 2 seconds of a trailer and get more like information of like what the show is actually about than reading the synopsis, because they're just like, oh, they go to prove that aliens and ghosts are real and get into wacky hijinks, and I'm like, yeah, that is what happens, but you know, like, I was gonna show like a picture, but this is the spoiler-free intro, so this is the only screenshot that we will have for the moment. But things get a little bit more complicated than that. I thought it was Ghost Stories, and when you what you got was Ghost Stories dub, but less offensive. The Ghost Stories dub, or commonly referred to as the Ghost Stories official abridged series. You know what? You're not entirely wrong. I was going to fight you on that, but I'm like, you know, I don't know. It's telling an actual story. It's telling like an actual meaningful story as opposed to just having running gags all the time. So does that count? But yeah, Ghost Stories, Ghetto? Am I making that name up? Or is there a thing called Ghetto? Ghetto? Wait. Gay. No, Kitaro. That's what I was thinking, that this show was originally like 100 episode, like episode of the week, monster of the week. Like, no, that's not what it is. And I could have noticed that by just looking at the, like, any of the trailers and seeing the crazy ass animation And also, I could have also looked at the studio and seen that it was Science Saru who also did Devilman Crybaby. So maybe should have that should have keyed me in on that fact. Because if you've ever seen Devilman Crybaby, yeah, it's don't worry about that one. I also made a Zoken, which I've not seen. I just was like, this is gonna be a short stream, in and out, 20 minutes. Unrelated note, today I saw Kimi no Ito, The Colors Within, in theaters. It was cool. Anyway, which is another Science Saru, but that was actually like, there was no like, that was like 100% wholesome, like on a scale of like super wholesome to Devilman Crybaby. Kimi no Ito is definitely on the wholesome side, and this is like more in the middle. Can he beat the allegations? We'll try. I am 50 words out of 1,405 of my notes, so that's the thing about that one. Anyway, but like, listen, I knew, okay, and then after the show came out and people were talking about it, like, I knew the series was, like, weird, but, like, nothing could have prepared me for what for whatever the fudge that was. Like, the animation is, like, actually, like, crazy. Like, yeah, we get this, like, super deformed, like, image that we see here, and they definitely do use that a lot, but they also just use, like, really, like, cool, like, animation like, shots. Here, this is also, like, from the first episode, where you get this, like, really cool, like, action shot of the main girl trying to kick somebody in the face. It's just, like a lot of, like, little tiny, like, character details, are in the animation. So, and the animation's, like, really sick. Like, it's good. It's easy to make, like, fight animation look cool because you just gotta have a bunch of explosions and flying around and punching. But to, like, make really mundane actions happen, like, really well animated and memorable, like in the first episode where, like, she was, like, dragging her feet on the ground, or, like, the way, like, characters come in and out of frame, depending on, like, the context of the, like, scene, I also noticed. Forgot her name. Yes, the main girl is Ayase, and the guy is Okarun is his. We're not gonna say his actual name because his actual name is a spoiler. And by spoiler I mean a spoiler for like one joke at the end of episode 1, but later he gets the name Okarun. But yeah, animation is like my layout, my loadout. Ayase Momo was her name, yeah. So yeah, it's kind of strange. As I said, it is a shonen battle show at its core, with its focus on like battles and monster of the week, but like it still gets into like, you know, rom-com and psychological horror and like deep philosophical contemplations and just like weird stuff. It's fun. I also I love the main characters' chemistry of the two main characters, the girl and Ayase and Okarun. It's like the perfect example of like, are they in love? Oh no, it's worse. They're idiots. You know that meme? It's all I could think of, seeing every single interaction from them. I don't know if I have a great picture of Okarun, non-spoilery picture of Okarun. But you get the idea. So yeah, they have a really great dynamic. I'll get more into this as we get into the actual show, but yeah, it's great. Like the writing is really nice, and like the characters are like deep and complicated. Just trust me, bro. I also really like the OST. The OST, like, okay, obviously, like, the opening is an effing banger, okay, but the OST was also like noteworthy. There's like they have like, it's something about it sounds like Splatoon-like, with its like nonsense vocals thrown in to like just make a funky beat. And there's also like classical music thrown in there too, so that's something weird, and it's fun. It also kind of has a similar, like, off-kilter, but still sort of kid-friendly vibe to Splatoon, so maybe that was an intentional note. But yeah, the opening is also, of course, is also a banger. It's very funky, and trippy, but also, like, kind of, like, emotional at times, like, very much like the show. The band was, Creepy Nuts, which is a great name for a band. But they also did the opening for Yofukashi no Uta, which was like Yofukashi no Uta, bam 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 bam. It's another great off-kilter opening. And when I found out that the same band made these two openings, I was like, yep, that tracks. You know what? I see it. They also did Bing Bong Ba Bing Bong Ba Bing Bong Bong Bong. Creepy Nuts. That, on the actual stream, it looks a lot creepier than how it showed up on the, like, in the chat. It looked a lot different than how it shows up on screen. I guess they use a different, like, emote font thing. Momo Ayase? No, her name is Ayase Momo. Okay, that's a good point to talk about. I watched this in Japanese. Not just because I'm a weeb, but, like, it seems somewhat fitting just because of cultural references, and also I really like the voice actresses, the voice actor and actress for Okadun and Ayase. They're really good. But from what I've seen of the dub, it seems fine. So, I'm sure if you watch the dub, I'm sure you are probably, I don't think you're getting too different of an experience. So you would think, because, I'm so pedantic about translation differences, and also I'm a weeb, you would think I would be a dub hater, but actually, I am actually so pedantic that I'm of the belief that if you don't know Japanese, then the dub translation is probably not much worse than whatever the subtitles are telling you. Like, yeah, which is, like, the main thing. So, like, if you don't actually know Japanese, then, like, what is the difference between, like, seeing the translations and subtitles versus the translation in dub? Because generally, sometimes subtitles are more accurate than the dub, because subtitles don't have to worry about, like, lip syncing. But, like, in recent times, I've noticed that, like, even, like, subtitles don't, get, like, super hyper realistic subtitles, like faithful translations. Don't you mean Seiyu? Yes, that's what I said. I'm gonna hide my shame now. Just walk back down the street. But yeah, I love Ayase and Okadun's voice actor. Ayase, like, her voice actor sounds very, like, not, suddenly subtitles turned hyper realistic, and then hyper realistic blood started coming out of the screen, and then Ayase was like photorealistic. I don't know, man. I got nothing. Ayase is so I'm just saying, I watched it in the Japanese version, but I'm sure the dub is fine. But yeah, somewhat related note. Okay, somewhat related note. I like Ayase's voice actors because it sounds, Seiyu, because it sounds very, like, not anime sounding. Like, it doesn't sound like a anime character. It sounds more like a, not necessarily like a real life person, somewhere in between an anime character and like a real life person, like someone from like a J-drama. Which is not, like, a bad thing. I actually like it a lot. I think, it makes her voice sound, like, more distinctive. And she's still very, like, expressive. It's just something comes off to me about, the voice acting direction of her. Seiyu. There. Blame, Tevin for me saying Seiyu for the rest of this rant. But yeah, there's still, like, a ton of range. It's just, it's an interesting choice, because her Seiyu normally doesn't sound like that. And the only other anime character that sounds similar that I can think of is Rika from SSS Gridman, who also had a very, like, not anime sounding voice. She gets to sound like an actual person, unlike most anime girls. Yeah, maybe that's it. like it definitely, as someone who's listened to a lot of anime, and someone who's lived in Japan for 3 years, it's somewhere in the middle. Her Ayase's voice is somewhere in the middle. You know, especially the way that she like kind of slurs her words sometimes. Like she goes, "Sena," stuff like that you wouldn't necessarily hear a lot in like anime. But yeah, I don't know. I can only think of Ayase and here and Dika from SSS Gridman. And I don't think they have anything in common. They're kind of both Garu characters, but Garus don't always sound like that. Like in My Dress Up Biscuit was had it like the main character was a Garu and she didn't sound like that. So I don't know what was up with that, but it's really good. I like it. Now if it sounds like don't yelling, I'm more holding in a crap. Don't say things like that, Tevin. Don't say things that are true and I don't want to hear. And Okarun's voice is also great with a lot of range. I particularly love his like very seamless transition from like his nerdy boy voice to his cool serious voice, which I thought was like a different voice actor at first, until I looked it up, and then there's a later scene where like he does like in mid transform, like mid sentence, and you can hear his voice like slowly change, and it's like, whoa. It's impressive. But yeah, I think that's my spoiler. That's the spoiler-free intro of Dandadan, Dandadan, Dandadan. It's a weird mix of battle shonen and I'm gonna turn off the fan because it's a little chilly? ? It's a weird mix of like battle shonen, rom-com, psychological horror, and like weird art house stuff. And I like the writing. The animation is really good. Okay. Let's see. Actually, I put this in the whatever. We'll talk about it here. Talk about it. Takakura Ken later. But yeah, that is the end of the spoiler-free intro. If you have not seen Dandadan, Dandadan, maybe I'm thinking of Durarara, because Durarara also has a D and repeating syllables, but it's Dandadan. Okay? But I will continue calling it Dandadan. Anyway, if you've not seen the show, and you want to go and you don't want spoilers, I highly recommend going in without any spoilers. That's what I did. I mean, I saw some clips on Twitter, but on the interwebs, but no, come back. Yeah, how many Duras does Durarara have? But I saw some clips here and there, but I went in like 90% blind, and I'm very happy that I did. Okay, there's only 3 Ras in Durarara. Also, what I talked about earlier, which was SSS Gridman. Which I think is 3 S's. Or 4 S's. It is 4 S's. Don. Anyway, well, let's get into the thick of things. Spoiler-free intro is officially ending in 3, 2, 1. Okay. This is not centered. This is no longer centered. Nobody look at my shame. I think that would be centered. Whatever. It's not going to be centered. Don't worry about it. No. Wrong countdown. Happy New Year. Anyway, so yeah, this might, I will try to go in chronological order, but it was weird, so I'll just follow my notes of so yeah, we get into it, and we have a good setup of 2 opposite personality people getting involved in each other. One believes in UFOs and the other believes in ghosts, and then they go on wacky adventures, and it turns out both are real. Oh my gosh. Which seems odd. It seems funny. Like, first of all, that's just funny that they like distinguish between UFO and ghosts, because like ISA believes in ghosts but not UFOs, and Okadun is the opposite, and they like make fun of each other for like, oh, you believe in UFOs? That's a little cringe. And he's like, you believe in ghosts? That's cringe. But the series like starts with ISA establishing that she has a celebrity crush on Takakura Ken, who is a famous actor from the 70s. So first of all, why does she know him? Like, why? It's never explained, at least in season 1, how she came to learn about Takakura Ken, because he's like from the 70s, and I think he died in like 2010 or something. Takakura Ken. Yeah, 2014. So, and this is like definitely takes place in the modern day, because they have like iPhones and stuff like that, or like smartphones. I was wondering that too. She's a little crushy crush. My best guess is like later her grandma is like seen like showing like watching like an old like comedy show. So maybe like her grandma got her into that. I have no idea, but Takakura Ken is like a famous actor from like the 70s. And basically his appeal is that like he's a cool, quiet guy, and he's relatable by, you know, being a little awkward. He has his catchphrase, we can just pull it up. No, we're not. I just want to make sure that I get the, how do you read this kanji? Bugyo desu kara. Bugyo desu kara. Which bugyo kind of means clumsy or awkward, and desu kara kind of means like, oh, it's because of that. So he's like this super cool guy who's like, oh, I'm actually kind of awkward. So, and I saw a couple of his commercials, and I'm like, I get the appeal. I get appeal. You want to get a crush on Frank Sinatra? I don't know who that is. But yeah, he was like a famous actor, and his catchphrase was Bugyo desu kara. Bugyo desu kara. Which is relevant somewhat, maybe. I still don't know how she knows about it, but that's what she's proclaiming here in the opening, where like her scummy boyfriend breaks up with her because he's scummy, and then she's like, fuck that guy anyway. I want to find a real man like Takakura Ken. Ken Takakura. I have to ignore that for my sanity. I probably know who Frank Sinatra is if I look it up. I've had to have run into this person at some point. Oh, this person who sang Fly Me to the Moon, that guy. Okay, anyway. But yeah, no, that never gets explained why she has a crush on Ken Takakura. Sorry, Takakura Ken-san. But whatever. It works for a funny. It's mostly used for gag, but I have to assume that it comes up at some point, maybe. Again, we are like a 15th of the way through these notes. Do I not have any screenshot of like the opening like monologue? Maybe I screenshotted this out of order. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's their first like conversation. Is like I like their first conversation because it does a lot about telling us about these characters like flaws, like character flaws, and also like their redeeming qualities. Because Okarun, Ayase was like pissed off and she wanted to fight someone, and she saw that Okarun was getting bullied, so she tried to fight the bullies, and the bullies were like, oh, let's get out of here. And then Okarun, don't get me wrong, Takakura was kind of, you know, I'm just saying, I seen some of the commercials. I'm just saying I get the appeal, okay? I get the appeal. It was like a coffee commercial where he literally didn't say anything, and he was just like awkwardly like fumbling with his shirt and like looking sexily at the camera, and I'm like, I get it, okay? I get it. Anyway, back on topic. Okarun is like, oh my gosh, a girl is interacting with me. I gotta go talk to her, and he works up the courage to try to talk to her, and then he tells her all about like UFOs and stuff, and she was like, could you are getting off a little desperate here, buddy, and then kind of insulted him, and then like kind of snapped at him. Is like, this is why you don't have any friends, is because you just are a big dumb nerd. And then she goes to like storm off. But then, you know, she stops, she looks back, you know, we get this really cool shot where like she's about to leave the frame, like, and go up the stairs, but she like stops and is like, okay, maybe I overdid it a little bit, and she goes to apologize, and I'm like, that's a really good like opener, because like those are like the two things that are like important about these characters, is that both, and like character writing in general is like, you want to know like, okay, what are we gonna like about these characters, and what do these characters have to grow from? Hey, yo, that was kind of mean. Am I a bully? But yeah, so yeah, we learn like why we should like these characters as like characters. And is my webcam smudgy? Maybe that would explain things. Smudge off the webcam. Because I have a cover for it, not just because I'm paranoid about being spied on by the Federal and Investigative Bureau. Where'd the sun go? I'm right here. Don't worry about it. But yeah, we get to learn why. Like, I think the scene is really important because it establishes the two most important things to establish about a character. Like, why are we going to like this character? Like, why are we going to enjoy seeing them on screen? Why are we going to root for them? And why are we not going to like this character? What do they have to grow? Where do they have room to grow as like characters, like in the story? And like, we clearly see that in this first episode, is that Okadun, like his like weakness is that, like, you know, he has like no social skills and he's very bugyo desu kara, very awkward. But his positive trait is that he does want to try, you know, like, again, he says that this was like the first girl to interact with him, and like, props on him. He like took the opportunity, he approached her, he tried to make conversation. It didn't go super well, but you know, he effing tried, so we definitely want to root for him. And then Ayase, like, we see right away that like her trait that she has to grow from in this series is she has some anger problems and lashes out at people sometimes, because that's why she was like interactive with them in the first place, is because she wanted to like pick a fight because she was mad about her boyfriend. But she is, so, you know, she can be very rough and very blunt sometimes, but we do see that she does have a soft side, that, you know, deep down she does care for other people. So, and I just think that like that first episode alone is just like this one, not even the first episode, this one scene alone is really good at establishing both of those. And as a aspiring writer, I'm taking notes. I'm marking what I've actually talked about and what I've not, because I've not been talking in order. So yeah, in that conversation, they established that Okarun believes in UFOs but not ghosts, and Ayase believes in ghosts but not UFOs, and they have both very different reasons for that. Is because Okarun, you know, wanted to be friends with someone, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna make a contact with aliens, and they're gonna be, you know, they're gonna be my friends, and that did not happen. Two people with the same hyperfixation meet each other. You would think so, because they're like, you would think that like, oh, they're both into like the occult, but like they both like butt heads about this sometimes, but like they also are like kind of like, it's in the same category of thing, but they start off by fighting about it. They have a very complicated relationship. Don't worry about it. So when she sees the book up close, oh yeah, he was like shoving like the book in her face. Did you watch the show, Tevin? That's crazy. I thought it was just Toast. Or did you watch the show outside of that context anyway? Anyway, so yeah, Okarun wants UFOs to be real because he wants to be friends, and Ayase, shoot, I'm trying to figure out effing which Love how this comes back later. The book or everything? You can please define this. I have no attention span. I'm sorry. Also watched a bit of it. Okay. So yeah, and then ISA wants to believe in ghosts because her grandma believes in ghosts, and she looks up to her grandma. In the first episode, she like talks about her grandma as if her grandma is dead, but her grandma is very much not dead. So I was a little confused about that. She's like, when I was a kid, I always used to look up to my grandma, and she said that a ghost for real, and I won't believe in grandma. I think I literally said it last stream and watched the whole thing on my own. Okay. Please see previous comment about having me not having no attention span. Also, we're gonna shrink chat a little bit just so more messages can fit on screen. Okay, bring up the hyperfixation thing later. Okay, yeah. Because this is kind of like why they become friends. So we get a quick backstory, like throughout the episode, and basically the ending of this conversation is like, I'm gonna prove to you that what I believe in is real and what you believe in is fake. So Okarun goes to like a alleged haunted tunnel, and Ayase goes to an alleged abduction spot. And then they find out that both ghosts and UFOs, aliens are real. I might say UFOs / aliens, in like, interchangeably sometimes. Because Ayase gets kidnapped by, okay, so Okarun gets, meets, like, Turbo Granny, who will be known later as Turbo Granny in, actually, I think it's known, she's known as Turbo Granny in the first episode. And, so yeah, he runs into Turbo Granny, who is a super fast old woman, they're not the same, aliens and ghosts, or UFOs and aliens. Listen, contrary to popular belief, not all aliens have UFOs, okay? I've been asking my dad for, like, the last 3 Christmases. I've been writing to Santa, like, ever since I was a little sun prince, that I want a UFO and I want to go invade some planets, but I've never got a UFO. Because Santa doesn't like me anymore. But yeah, but that's just me being pedantic. But technically it's ghosts and aliens, because there are aliens without ghosts. But these first aliens do have a UFO. That's how they, like, abduct ISA. Because, yeah, so... And then, okay. So, here's the funny thing about that one. And then, ISA gets assaulted by whatever the fudge these things are, which look just cool as heck. Which actually they don't look cool. They look very creepy and I hate them. And that's cool. Does that make sense? So what ends up happening is that Okarun gets his ding dong stolen by Turbo Granny. Because she, like, possesses him and steals his ding-dong. I don't know how you can do both at the same time, but whatever. Get you a ghost that can do both. And then ISA, it's okay, so, what happens, you see, is that they wanna... I loved how they said it in Adult Swim. It sounded like how they said it in the dub. Sounded straight from something from Adult Swim about how they stole his banana. Literally giving on, because in the anime they usually refer to it as a banana. But I can see how that is. I watched a couple of clips of the dub. So yeah, Okarun gets his banana stolen by the old lady ghost, and Ayase almost gets, like, assaulted by a group of aliens. Which, on paper, should be very, like, horrifying to witness and traumatic. But the only reason that it's not traumatic to watch is because it's framed in such a silly way, and everything kind of works out in the end for the most part. So, like, on paper, like, like, in the first episode, somebody gets almost, like, assaulted and got their ding-dong, and someone else got their assaulted and got their ding-dong ripped off, which should be traumatizing, but the characters have a very much, like, are you effing kidding me kind of attitude with this. Like, the aliens are like, you know... Oh, did you, I like how they sounded in dub. Their voice sounds ripped straight out of Adult Swim. Very awkward Teen Hunter voice. As I said in the previous comment, please define they. But yeah, as, they, like, got her, like, tied down to a table and, have her, like, stripped down in her underwear, and they're, like, the aliens are like, oh, we're nice guys, see, don't worry about it, and she's like, what effing nice guys would strip people naked? And they're like, don't worry, we just, you know, we took care of your clothing, and they point to where it's, like, tethered in the corner. And I think it's interesting as a fan of, like, figuring out, like, what makes art, anime, and, like, art in general so appealing, and I think that's kind of, like, a benefit of this art form is that it can, like, abstract things to a degree, like, make them funny or make them, like, feel, like, not real, so that it can talk about, like, themes of this, of, like, assault and stuff like that, without, you know, traumatizing anyone watching it. It packages it in an easier package, as if I was, you know, as opposed to me sitting here being like, okay, here are the, all of these psychological drama and sociological, side effects of, you know, how, this is viewed. And I'm like, yeah, that would be, I'm wording around it because the show kind of does too, But yeah, if I were to just say the events that happened outright, without any, like, context or, like, telling you what, like, the tone of the show is, you would be like, this is some sort of, like, snuff film, isn't it? But it's not. It's absolutely not. Oh, the aliens? How the aliens sounded? I could, you know what? I could actually pull that up real fast. I do have the anime pulled up if I need any more screenshots that I don't have otherwise. Unless it just crashes. That works. That could work too. We're going to quickly and quietly listen to what the aliens sound like in, English.
I want to leave. Since we are identical, evolution does not occur.
You are right. You are right. they got a very, like, we are aliens. In Japanese, they kind of just sound like they don't have, like, what was that? Ben Diskin. But in Japanese, they have a very, like, they have a similar thing going on. It's more like, we are the aliens, more lower pitch, but you get the idea. So yeah, you know, I'm not hating on the dub, but still, if I were to rewatch the show, I'd definitely watch it in dub. But yeah, the point is what I was trying to make, and I've rambled about this for too long to make a short about it. I hope you're happy. But if you were to just describe what was happening in this show to someone without any of the context or tone, it would sound like the show is, like, really effed up and, like, nobody would want to watch it. But, like, because it's, like, framed in this, like, fun, silly, wacky adventure kind of way, it's an easier package. You can get people, like, more, like, invested in it, you know, like, to actually, like, stomach, like, talking about those kind of, like, sensitive topics. Art is a good way to talk about sensitive topics without, in a way that you have, like, a safety shield from actually being, like, fully emotionally traumatized about talking about those sensitive subjects. It was Ben Diskin. Where is my... Okay. So yeah, I'm effing here talking about the cool thing, the appeal of art and abstraction, and you guys are just talking about voice actors. That's crazy. But yeah, you know, like, ISA getting, you know, assaulted by a group of guys who are like, oh, we're nice guys, we don't want to hurt you, we just want to, you know, you know, and then Okarun, you know, getting assaulted by like an older woman. Like those are two situations that are, you know, unfortunately kind of common in real life, and are very traumatizing to happen, or see happen. But we can kind of like talk about them in depth and like make it not like taboo to talk about, and like work through our emotions and problems as a society by using art and animation. So yeah, I don't know, it's cool. Nope, it's not the Windows key. But sometimes I just completely forget how all of my shortcuts keys work, and I've literally sat at a blank, like at a spelling error in Word, and have just been like, how do I undo this? And I just literally hit Control Z like 5 seconds ago. Anyway, if you actually want me to talk about what all the themes are working here, I'm not qualified to talk about that. I'm not even qualified to talk about sex in a consensual standpoint. But and also, other than like, these are common situations that not a lot of people like talk about, especially like older women assaulting younger men. That is definitely like not something that is ever talked about in society. But outside of that, like, I don't know, man, as someone who knows more, I'm just going to admit that that is not my area of expertise, and I'm sure someone who has studied like gender roles and stuff like that, the gender, ask the gender worms, okay? They would know more than I would. But anyway, let's just keep going. I also don't want to like actually trigger anyone who's watching the stream, because if I were to just explain it bluntly, then it would sound very actually terribly traumatizing. Ask the gender solids. ask the sex havers, okay? I don't know anything about that. I'm not an expert, okay? So yeah, then like before, like, I'm just gonna keep this image on screen because I think this image on screen explains it enough of like what is happening with and the tone that it is happening in, and it's hilarious and it's funny. So yeah, just before ISA is about to get got, Okarun, possessed by Turbo Granny, comes out of the phone. This is another shot that I really like. Is just a lot of, the show has a lot of like background to foreground and foreground to background movement that I really like, and you don't see a lot in animation because it's really hard to do. Shout out to Kyoto Animation. They made an entire show based of just to flex that they can do background to foreground animation. I forget what it was called. It was like, we're looking it up. We're looking it up. Because I watched like half of it like 10 years ago. Hyoka, I want to say? Yeah, Hyoka. I remembered it like 2 seconds. Hyoka, like every single shot in that show is just like character moving from the foreground to the background and vice versa. But anyway, so Ken, possessed by Turbo Granny, comes out and tries to save Ayase, and he has this big speech about like, you're the first girl who ever talked to me, and you're special, and I'm not gonna, let anything bad happen to you. And then he immediately gets his shit kicked in. Like, in a really funny, like, jutting role. This show also uses like color a lot, by the way. Because there's like the red, like the tunnel scene was very red, and the alien scene was very blue, and the scene where the tunnel scene enters the alien scene is like half red and half blue and half red, like the Nintendo Switch. Get yourself a manual to do that. Who will say, I'm willing to save you, and then immediately get his kicked shit in. Funny and wholesome, like, what the heck. Yeah, there's a lot of funny, wholesome, and what the fuck kind of scenes in this show. But yeah, then ISA remembers a thing that her grandma told her, and then she unlocks her psychic powers. So now she just has psychic powers because she remembers, like, I remember what my grandma said about, using the energy stored in my lower belly or whatever. So again, so as someone who knows anything about sex, about what all of this symbolizes, don't worry about it. Broccoli Harris. I like this like shot a lot, but it's definitely something that doesn't work in like screenshot because like her hair is like flowing and this thing is spinning and her eyes are sparkling. It's just a good stuff. Lead me a loyal boy fail. But yeah, then ISA just saves herself because she's the protagonist here. She's the one who her and Okadun are like both like dual protagonists, but I would kind of say ISA is like the more of the protagonist, if that makes any sense. But yeah, we never should have doubted you, Grandma. Grandma, you were right the whole time. So they escape from the exploding alien spaceship, and they're both like naked. So I also really like this shot. Because, you see that when she goes to kick the alien, it's like a 1-to-1 shot recreation of when she tried to kick the guy at the beginning. And she's like, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't even kick a regular human back then, but now that I got superpowers, now I can start kicking people. So, we have some growth of her being independent and cool. Copy and paste. Why'd your icon change? It's really not a copy and paste, a tracing at best. But, like, literally everything other than the general outline of the scene, of the shot, is different. But yeah, we get this really funny scene where they're out and they're like, okay, since I got you into this mess, I'll help you out of it, because they went on a date of, like, I'm gonna prove to you that aliens are real, or I'm gonna prove to you that ghosts aren't real. So they kind of got into this mess by their own doing. So ISA kind of feels guilty, so she's like, I'll go help get your banana back for you. And then she's like, oh, by the way, yeah, the guy's like, oh, I'm sorry about all this, bugyo desu kara. What do they say in, what do they translate that phrase in English to, by the way, out of curiosity? I can go look right now. I'm looking at it right now. Hold on one second.
Sorry. I'm an awkward guy.
I'm an awkward guy. That works, I suppose. Anyway, so he's like, bugyo desu kara. And I'm an awkward guy. Yeah, Tevin literally said it, but there we go. And she's like, oh, that kind of reminded me of my celebrity crush, and I'm getting all a little flustered, and I gotta relax. And so she's trying to like break the ice, and she's like, oh yeah, by the way, I never got your name. And he's like, oh yeah, my name is Takakura Ken. And then the UFO behind her explodes, and along with her like sense of rationale. It's like this huge revelation that he has the exact same name as her celebrity crush. And that's how the first episode ends, and that's really funny. Like, I love the explosion at the end, just to really sell the punch line of, like, she has, like, the shocked expression. There's, like, an explosion going off both in her head and in her background. Now your icon changed again. Stop changing your icon, Toast. You're driving me crazy. So anyway, we're an hour into the stream. We talked about the first episode, so yeah, we're about on track. But I think that is about like a third of my notes. 700 out of 1400, yeah. Because like just like talking about the general idea of the show, and the first episode, like, I think encapsulates a lot of what this show is about. It's definitely one of those shows where, like, if you don't know if you'll like it or not, just watch the first episode, and if you like the first episode, then you'll like the series. Very similar to Sangatsu no Lion, because that's one of my, like, that's in my, like, 3x3, like, one of my top 10 anime of all time. And I was sold, like, on the first episode. It's definitely one of those, that's definitely also one of those shows where, like, you watch the first episode and you're like, oh, that's why the show is cool, okay. That's a very good opener. So now it will be the section of the stream of me trying to remember what actually happened, and also just showing off cute ISA pictures. So ISA is like holding off the like Turbo Granny possession by using her psychic powers. So I'm still not 100% sure how that works, because he's like possessed by Turbo Granny, but also Turbo Granny is somewhere else and has his banana. I don't know how exactly that works. I guess it's ghosts. Don't worry about it. Which is a little weird. Well, I don't know. The show sometimes has a logic of like, okay, here's how the ghosts work, and here's how we're going, or here's how all the paranormal stuff in the show works, and here is how we're gonna fight it. And sometimes it's just like weird and creepy just for the sake of being weird and creepy, and also plot convenient. So I guess Turbo Granny is icon is dancing emoji. Turbo Granny is just in a super state of being possessing Okadun, and also in the tunnel with his ding dong. So ISA is like, okay, I'm not gonna call you that, because she swoons every time she hears that name. So she's like, in order to interact with you, I'm gonna give you the name Okadun. And he's like, I never had a nickname from a friend before. So he's like chill with that. So that's why so he's generally known as Okadun in throughout the show. Is that the same in the dub, by the way? Because Okadun is kind of like a pun, because he's like an occult otaku, and Dune is just kind of like a fun name ender in Japanese. Because I think we see that she has him saved in her phone as like otaku guy. Yes, his name's just Okadun. That's funny. But yeah, that's another instance where in the West, people view otaku as just like, anime, manga, video game otaku. But in Japanese, otaku just means like someone who's very hyper obsessed with something. So you can have like, anime otaku, obviously, but you also have like, train otaku, or in Okadun's case, alien otaku. I feel like something they wouldn't be able to change since they say it so often. Yeah, I think they also keep the Takakura Ken like name, they like reference the same, which just sounds a little weird. But I mean, like, dubbed anime is always a little weird, because you know that they're actually supposed to be speaking Japanese, and that English speakers would not say or do the things that they're doing. They still use Kachan for Bakugo. I think they have a different explanation for it, though. I think I remember like seeing a video about that, about how we still got the name Kachan, but no, that was for Deku. Because in Japanese, he gets the name Deku because, yeah, no, I'm not thinking of Kachan, I'm thinking of Deku. Because fudge, what's her name? The girl, Gravity Girl from Boku no Hero Academia. In the Japanese version, she calls him Deku because it's similar to Dekiru, which means possible to do it. And I think she has a different explanation in English, but it still ends up at the same path of calling him Deku. Defenseless Izuku. Uraraka, yes. One of these days I will finish Hero Academia, especially since it's finished now. Anyway. So they go to the tunnel, and it's daytime, and ghosts don't appear in the daytime, so they're like, okay, well, I guess we'll just head home. Now. Ochako, yeah. We gotta not get sidetracked, or this will take even longer. But I think we've already... Where'd my... See, this is why I said I shouldn't be playing with that. I already have a fidget toy. Oh, there it is. Okay. Lock in. And I watched my Boku no Hero Academia. Guys, what should I watch first? Boku no Hero Academia or Boku no Pico? Like, what takes place first chronologically? Anyway, not important. So they go. This is not locking in. They go to her grandma's house because she's like, okay, well, we gotta wait till nighttime to go fight Turbo Granny. So I guess until in the meantime, let's go back to my grandma's house and fight a sumo alien. No, go in and lock. No. I was gonna make a meme about that, but I don't remember what it was. There was like, what is the watch order for, like, it was those 2 shows and it was like one other thing. I forget what it was. Do I have it in my drafts? No, I do not. Who's private messaging me during a stream? Oh, it was Uvu who said thanks for the anime recommendations, because they asked for 80s anime recommendations, and I recommended the Space Train show, a Galaxy Express 39, Angel's Egg, Kimagure, Orange Road, and Stop Peabody-kun. Stop Peabody-kun I should definitely watch. I've only ever seen out of those 4. I mean, I know those 4 because those are like classic like 80s anime. And I hear a lot of people talk about them, and I've seen clips of them. But I've only ever seen the movie of Space Galaxy Express 39. But I should definitely watch Hibari-kun, because I think that's a trans show. Anyway, not important. We're locking in. We're closing everything that is not my notes and my stream. So yeah, they team up. They have this. The second episode is a little bit more like standard. Yeah, look, they have like weird ass shots. Okay, so this is all like one cut, okay, of her standing there, and then the camera like swoops around, which again, easy to do in live action, very hard to do in animation. It's like swoops around to show that there was a seal, and they had to take off the seal so possessed Okarun could get in. But that also let in a giant sumo wrestler alien guy. And so they have to deal with that. But not before we get some more cute pictures of ISA. Oh yeah, they also have cool framing where like he's in the other room, but the camera is showing both of them by using a conveniently placed mirror. So like just a lot of like interesting directing like things. Close any other thoughts. Also close the tabs in my brain. But anyway, so they fight this fun giant effing sumo wrestler alien. Is that the cat snoring? I just heard. Whoever the artist was, Eights. What? Oh, like the person who, like the people, the large team of animators and everybody else who worked on this project to bring this to life, who worked very hard to bring this project to life. That people ate. They cooked, is what they did. You don't even know how to use the kid terminology. That's crazy. What the fudge is your icon? This is not me locking in. It's a chihuahua with a croc on its head. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely the cat snoring. I don't know how you can snore for my yap session, but okay. So yeah, see, episode 2 is a little bit more standard, quote unquote, where they like learn to. Oh my gosh, my UI disappeared again. Yeah, see, that wasn't happening last stream, but now it's happening this stream, and nothing is different. But yeah, they learn. ISA learns to like use her powers more, and Okada learns to like use his like. She's just tired. Is currently sleeping and snoring. But yeah, then we get a really effing cool. Is it the flat? Oh yeah, they did call it the Flatwords monster. Don't ask me names. I'm not good with names. I wrote down ISA and Okarun and the other 2 important characters' names, and other than that, like I got nothing. But yeah, we get this really cool transformation sequence, which is very much like, I don't know, it looks cool. I like it. It's got like big effing teeth and like spiked hair, and this is what I was talking about earlier, where his voice actor goes from like, oh, I don't know about this, guys, to can't believe I have to fight this idiot, you know, something like that. Nairuze is his like catchphrase. Which means like, oh man, this sucks. I feel totally drained. Like, so he gets superpowers. They appeared in Zelda. We're getting off track. We need to get back on track. So anyway, yes, his powers turn him into a badass and also give him depression. And ISA is able to do this by like slightly letting go of her like control over Granny possession. So that's cool. And then they fight the sumo monster, and they have a really cool fight where they're like locked in bounds and they can't leave to put the barrier back, because that would also make Okadun explode too. So they have a thing where like ISA lets herself get like bashed into a wall like repeatedly until the hole that she got bashed into is eventually big enough to be considered outside of the barrier, and then she puts up the barrier, and then they defeat the monster like that. This is one of those shows where the characters can kind of just get thrown into buildings and be okay. That is explained later. So we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second. But just know that yes, characters can survive getting thrown into buildings and being punched directly in the face repeatedly by a giant sumo wrestler and still be okay. But yeah, and then the next episode is the introduction of ISA's grandma, which in the first episode I kind of got the implication that the grandma died. So I was very like, oh, hi, she's gonna be in this show? Because they're like, oh yeah, let's go to my grandma's house. And I'm like, oh, she's usually here, I don't know where she is. And I'm like, oh, your grandma's still alive? And this is not how the grandma looked in the flashback at all. So I don't know what the fudge is going on here, but ISA grandma is a badass. See, I don't have ISA grandma written down, so I don't know what she's called. But yeah, she's great. She's like the if we have to use like battle shonen tropes, she's like the old like master that's going to train these two on how to use their powers. And she kind of does, but she mostly just shows up sometimes and gives us some plot exposition. It's the same voice actor as Haruko from Fooly Cooly. Seiko Ayase. Oh yeah, you know what's really funny? Okay, speaking of voice actors, even though I watched in Japanese, I didn't put this together until after the fact when people said it, and I'm like, oh yeah! Turbo Granny is voiced by Luffy in Japanese. And as soon as somebody pointed that out, I'm like, oh yeah, Turbo Granny does just sound like an evil deranged Luffy from One Piece. Especially since, which is especially funny since Turbo Granny's first line is like, you wanna suck my teat, kid? But yeah, that's really funny. But people who watched more One Piece than I did didn't notice that like right away. So that's just funny. Anyway, back to ISA grandma. ISA comes in and is like a super badass. That means that she's Krillin as well. Is Krillin also voiced by Luffy? Tanaka Mayumi is Luffy and Krillin. You're correct. You're indeed correct. And also Yunosuke in Urusei Yatsura. Okay, we're getting off topic. We're getting off track. We gotta get back on track. But yeah, like ISA like passes out, and then Turbo Granny like takes full control over Okadun, and then she has a cool moment where she sets up like a double barrier and like nearly kills him. Lock in, lock in, lock in. When we get to the fight scenes, I won't have a lot to say because it's like there's a cool fight that happens and it has a really cool animation, and that's it. That's all I have to say. But yeah, yeah, her power is only limited by the fact that she can only use her power in the city that she's in. So she's like so she's like the strongest character in like the verse. But she just kind of lies around around the house and does nothing. Also, I really like ISA's as the kids say, drip. Because like in every single scene where she's not wearing her school uniform, she's wearing like some other like fancy outfit. Because like we have her school uniform, but then we also have like she's wearing Okadun's outfit and she's rocking that, and then later she like gets changed and then she's rocking a different like an orange outfit, and then later she got like this cool like glasses and ponytail thing going on. Drip, oh, fashion. Who's the old one now? I thought you were all young and hip with it. What the fudge? By you, I mean my viewers in general. So yeah, like ISA. Anyway, back to my notes. ISA actually. ISA and her grandma had a complicated relationship. Only thing is her old socks and her school uniform, like the fudge. I don't know if I have a picture of that. Like her puffy socks that she has in her school uniform, because that's a Gato thing. Yeah, here it is. You can kind of see it here. Well, no, it's not there. Where the fudge? Did we just all hallucinate that? Because I also remember her having big fluffy socks, but they're not in any of my screenshots. So maybe it was all just a hallucination. I'm looking at my screenshots. But yeah, that's just like a Gato thing. And I think she's kind of supposed to be a Gato character because she's got like those big, because she has the big socks, and then she has like the big earrings, and she also calls herself a Gato at one point when they're going into like the fight with Turbo Granny. Okadun's like, why did you change out of the spiritual protection outfit? And she's like, you know, for Garu's, like, fashion is our battle outfit. And he's like, fair enough. Bit of odd Japanese fashion from, like, the 90s, yeah. Also, like, her two, like, friends that are never plot relevant, but ISA has, like, two friends who are also, like, more Garu than she is. She's, like, light Garu. Does that make sense? Anyway. ISA and her grandma have a bit of a, like, complicated... Hold on. Kagome used to have those socks. Yeah, it also might just be, like, early 90s things. But I want to say, for her, especially her wearing it in modern day, I want to say it's a Gato thing. Anyway, ISA and her grandmother have a complicated relationship. Third time I've said this. It's like the 15th time I've said this. I can't stay on task. Hey, stay on topic. I'm also playing with that circle pad thing again. I need to not... Okay. But yeah, so ISA and her grandmother have a complicated relationship. Because we already knew about, her grandma claimed to be like a spirit medium. And was like, oh, spirits are real. And ISA was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And at the end of the last episode, she's like, Grandma was right, oh my god. And then ISA gives her like a proper apology of like, I'm sorry for not believing you about ghosts all these years, my bee. Kogal. Back on topic. But yeah, they still have like a bickering scenes. So like they have a very close relationship, but they also like bicker like family does. So it's a very complicated but also a very realistic relationship of a family. Of like, yeah, she of course like that's her grandma, but also like her grandma's really annoying and also lazy, and also my mouse cursor broke and dragged the chat over. So they still bicker, but then they have a really nice moment where Turbo Granny basically comes out of possessing Okadun and is like, I'm gonna effing kill everyone you love, including your beloved grandmother. And then I'm gonna get the One Piece. And then ISA is like, not my grandma, and she's like, I gotta go protect my family. So it's shown that like they do still care for each other even if they bicker a lot. There was a Lego set announced based around the manga and anime series of One Piece, and they made a tweet of like, oh, One Piece Lego set coming soon. And there was like a bunch of replies that were like, How the hell you make a Lego set with only one piece? What the kind of lame-ass Lego set are you trying to sell us? I thought that was funny. Anyway. You know what I think the worst thing about that Lego set is that it's not based on the anime or manga. It's specifically from the live-action Netflix show, I think. I think it's related to that. Also, when is that One Piece remake coming out? Because I said I would finally watch One Piece when the remake came out, and then they just, that's never happened. Anyway, they have this really cool, anyway, they go fight Turbo Granny, and it's really cool. That's all I gotta say, man. I'm trying to see if I have any, like, screenshots. Because yeah, they have a little moment where ISA and ISA grandmother are like hugging, and ISA grandma's like, be careful out there, and like, I would help you, but actually I can only use my powers like in this very small vicinity, so kind of sucks to be you. And then ISA changes outfits, and we get this again, she got the drip, she got the fit, she got the outfit, she got the style, she got the swagger, okay? Listen, I'm a big sucker for any anime that goes out of its way to show their characters off in cool outfits. Because a lot of the reason why anime, I think I talked about this in a previous stream, but like one of the 50 reasons why anime always takes place in high school is so it makes them easier to draw because they're all wearing the same outfit all the time. So they don't have to keep designing like new outfits and like coordinate with like the character designer and like the animators and whatnot. So Slade and Aiden left no crumbs. So anyway, when a character does have a lot of different outfits in an anime, that is definitely the animators like showing off. And they cook all the time with ISA, and I love it. But yeah, I don't think I got the second part of it, but this is the shot where you know, it'd be like, yeah. That's why a lot of like anime have like outfits, like even anime that don't like take place in high school, they always have like outfits that the characters stay in all the time. Like Inuyasha was always wearing like his red like outfit the entire show, for example. Anyway, I don't remember what order I got these screenshots in. They have a cool fight because they're still trying to learn how to use their powers. Same as green school uniform. Yeah, ISA is still learning to control her powers, and Okadun is trying to control his powers and trying not to go out of control. And also Turbo Granny fused with a giant like crab monster, and they have this like big fight that leads them like running through the town and like doing some crazy stuff, and there's like a zombie apocalypse, and like there's like classical music playing, and it's like the past characters have an excuse, they're broke. But yeah, it's one of these scenes where like, for the sake of brevity and time, let's just skim over this, because it is a cool fight scene that I like a lot. Here's another ISA screenshot. It's a cool fight scene that I like a lot, but I don't have a lot to say. As Okadun enters a mock speed section. Oh no. Not gonna make it. Better speed up. Bald ass. That's just her forehead. What do you got against foreheads? Toast? I think you were making fun of Ikaku. You know what's really funny about Ikaku, the bald guy in Bleach, is that he has like a sister that and while she's not bald, she does have a really big forehead. Like her hairstyle's like in a way that is a really big forehead. But yeah, it ends with this really cool shot where they lure this Turbo Granny crab monster fusion on a train, and that train leads out of town and into the town that ISA Grandma can use her powers in, as signified by like this like break in aura. And then Turbo Granny Crab gets exploded. No, I'm not. It just looks like it. It looks like you're bald. Oh, but to God, you say his sister was bald? His sister is... Ikaku's sister is not bald, but she's close to it. Anyway, not important. This is not the Bleach stream. I did my best to not bring up Bleach up until now. I have no excuse. But yeah, it's just a really cool fight. Like, cool animation. Good, like, location movement. That's another reason why anime always take place in high schools, is because the animators don't have to draw different backgrounds every episode. But there was like a 5-minute sequence where they were like running through the mountains, and then they were running through like the town, and then they were like in a bathhouse, and then that bathhouse exploded, and they were running more through town, and they jumped on a train. Like, it kind of go cray cray though. Anyway, they have a moment. I just wanted to point out how Mr. Clean. I just wanted to point out how look at that face. Look at that face. I love that face. I just wanted to complain because there are certain anime that will go unnamed. By certain anime, I mean a lot of anime where the background low FOV characters are off model like all the time, and that really bothers me. So I recognize that the show does have on model low FOV background characters, and I like it a lot. The face is so funny, yeah. Like, it's still like very simplified and goofy looking, but it's still like on model. So like, pay attention to that next time you watch like an anime to see if like the background characters are on or off model. I swear, more often than not. But again, that might just be a thing that bothers me and nobody else. Seen that way too many times. See, I'm not crazy. More cute ISA moment. She got a new hairstyle. But yeah, at the end, ISA and Okarun defeat Turbo Granny. There's a lot of grannies, because I'm trying not to confuse Turbo Granny with ISA Granny, because those are two different grandmas. You mean like a game of guess the main character? Hold on. Hold on. Not this anime, but I ran into a funny instance of that the other day. If I can find it. Are these not in order? Do I have to put these in order? Okay, it's loading. Give me a minute. I promise it'll be worth it. These are Oshinoko screenshots. What the fudge? Oh, here it is. Here's a game of guess the main character. You know. Do you think it might be the person with bright pink hair and a light jacket compared to everyone else? Which actually is not necessarily, she's not necessarily the main character, but she is an important character nonetheless. So, but you get the idea. Based on my calculations, what was another really funny guess the main character moment that I had? There was like one in Inuyasha that I think I posted about like a while ago. Meow 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 meow. I definitely have a lot of World Ends With You screenshots. And Zatch Bell oh, here it is. Here it is. Here's the Yashahime. Guess the main character. Sitting in the main character seat with the different colored hair and the different colored outfit. Crazy. Anyway, back to talking about Dandadan. There's a good one in Soul Eater that I was referring to, yeah. Yes, I could never guess. But yeah, ISA and Okarun become friends, and that's the end of episode 4. We're about on track. We're about halfway through my notes, and we are about an hour and a half. And also my thing despawned again. Okay, when I say my thingy despawns, considering the previous topic of conversation, let's say it like that. My UI on Streamlabs OBS disappeared. So yeah, we have a big like fight. Okay, so episode 5 starts with it not being spaced properly. I guess it's just spaced a little too close. Fix that. Okay. Anyway, episode 5, so episode, like, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all, like, heavy action, lots of things happening. So we have a bit of a slower episode. Dick disappeared, no! That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. But yeah, they have a big, like, rom-com episode. And, which starts by, like, Okarun being like, oh, are we really friends? Or are we, you know, is she just pitying me? You know, he has all this, like, self-doubt in him. And Ayase's like, I want to fun talk about UFOs and aliens and ghosts with somebody. Where the fudge is Okarun? And, like, they have that, like, trope where they, like, barely miss each other. Like, hear them, like, literally, like, just missing each other. And then they do eventually, like, bump into each other. And when I say, bump into each other, oh yeah, like, there's, like, this moment, too. Where they're literally sitting on, like, the opposite, like, side of the bench, being like, where are they? And they have a moment where, like, there's no, by the way, here's an unrelated note. Here's another, good background Ayase face. But yeah, he's like, oh, where did she go? And then as soon as she looks up and is about to see him, then he, like, bends his head down. Where they share a similar hyperfixation, yeah. Because they both now that they both know that both aliens and ghosts are real, now they do actually have the same hyperfixation. But they still also bicker a lot. Again, are they lovers? No, it's worse. They're idiots. Are they in love? No, they're just idiots. Well, the yes and... But yeah, they literally bump into each other and, like, have an accidental kiss. For, like, this is, like, one frame. I had to, like, go, like, frame by frame to get this screenshot. And then, of course, somebody sees them bump into each other. And it seems like, oh, they're about to, like, finally meet up and, you know, resolve their differences. And, like, no, that doesn't happen. And they just get into more misunderstandings. But I think they do eventually, like, are like, okay, I know what's going down. There's more Ayase faces. More Ayase faces, they get into big arguments. That's probably what I was talking about earlier, yeah. I think you chipped my tooth, yeah. He says something, that in mid-argument, they say something like that. But then later, hold on, here's another cute Ayase face. Where she's like, oh, I feel bad that, you know, I finally found Okarun, but then I was mean to him. Oh, no. Anyway, so then we got this bitch. Who I actually like how, she's not, like, her episode doesn't come until, like, episode 6, but, like, she, like, has a brief cameo in episode 5. Like, I like how, I don't know, I like that when anime does that, where they, like, tease a major character by having them show up as, like, a background character, like, right before they appear. But yeah, so she was, like, flirting with Okarun, and she was, like, you know, after, like, flirting with Okarun, like, behind, his back, she was like, oh my god, you believe that, nerd? I bet he's never even talked to a woman in his entire life. I just like to, like, yeah, she's a big meanie face. She's a big-ass meanie face. And then Ayase uses her psychic powers to drop a wash bucket on her head. Which I have not seen in anime. Similar to, Toast in Mouth, wash bucket dumped on somebody's head. Also, does not happen very often. And then Ayase is like, okay, fine, I'll be nice to you again, Okarun. And then she shows, like, hey, look, Okarun, I'm your friend. I'm your female friend, and you have friends. And she's like, take that, you stupid asshole. See, you think you're so fucking cool. Which, considering the fact that, that she becomes a main character in literally, like, the next episode, it's really funny. And then we got more Ayase drip. Where Okarun is explaining, like, okay, so I got my banana back, but my balls are gone. Don't clip that out of context. I'm talking about the show. And then ISA is just effing losing her shit on the floor. She also has like unique socks too. Like she's got the fashion. Oh yeah, another thing that also doesn't happen often in anime anymore is paper fans. They took out the paper fan item in Smash Brothers. Listen, all I want is to bring back Toast in Mouth. I want them to bring back dumping wash bins on people's head, and I want anime to bring back hitting people with paper fans. Why do no modern anime do that anymore? It's a conspiracy, I tell you, a conspiracy. Anyway, here's another cute ISA picture. Also, we will change songs since we're about halfway through. If you can even hear the song. If the song's not audible, I'm not going to be too beat up about it because I've been going back and forth if I actually want background music in these podcasts or not. Let me know. Let me know down. Like, comment, and subscribe. Anyway. So yeah, it turns out that Turbo Granny isn't completely dead. She's in this cat now. She's in this cat now. And hit the bell. And make sure to rate it 5 stars. And make sure to follow me on follow my page on Facebook. And anyway. But yeah, let me know if you'd want background music or not in these podcasts. So anyway, Turbo Granny is in this cat, but she's powerless because Okarun still has her powers. So Okarun gets to keep his like Turbo Granny powers for like the whole series pretty much. Because Turbo Granny powerless is stuck in this cat. If Facebook AOT, I meant MySpace. I meant follow me, rate the video 5 stars, and make sure to follow my MySpace page. I got MySpace and Facebook mixed up. I do not have a Facebook. I tried to make a Facebook, and then they wanted a picture of my face, and I sent them a picture of my face, and they're like, this is a cartoon, this is not your face. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, but maybe I can get a Facebook working later. Anyway, so so yeah, Okarun gets to keep his powers. Turbo Granny, it gets to stick around in this Maneki Neko, this lucky cat. But also they're like, hey, where's my balls? Where's my balls? In Japanese, that they refer to it as hold on, I'll explain that later. But yeah, he's like, I got my banana back, but where are my balls? And Turbo Granny's like, oh yeah, I kind of like lost those. I kind of dropped them somewhere. Don't worry about it. And they're like, what the fuck? So then the quest turns to getting Okarun his wing back, to getting his balls back. Oh yeah, okay. So this is like the next episode. Because I was wondering what the screenshot was. So Okarun, like if he gets angry enough, just turns into Turbo Granny. Like gets his Turbo Granny powers. And I'm a fan of the classic, like inner demon power-up shonen thing. You know? We got the Nine Tails in Naruto, the Hollow Ichigo. I can't think of anything else, but you get the idea. Now we got like Turbo Granny. Because, like, this guy's like, oh, yeah, I know ISA. I heard that she sleeps around, you know, and she'll, you know. And Okarun's like, no! Specifically goes out of, like, the show in episode 1 specifically goes out of its way to say that she's still a pure, young, inexperienced woman. So, and Okarun's like, don't you talk crap about her. And, like, his evil Turbo Granny powers come out a little bit, so that's a fun thing. That I like the inner demon trope in anime. So then we find one of his balls, but this bitch finds it. I need to not say that because that's very offensive. I don't like her. Okay, I know she has like a redemption arc later. I still don't like her because she's a shallow hoe. But that's kind of like part of her character flaw. She also thinks that she's like the main character because she found like this mysterious ball that lets her see ghosts, and she's like, I must be the chosen one because I'm just so beautiful that I'm the main character, and like she's not the main character. But what I was gonna explain earlier was that her Okadun's balls detached from him are displayed as gold balls, which is just a way to show his balls without having to like draw a nutsack. But also in Japanese, a euphemism for balls are kintama, which the closest English equivalent would be like the family jewels. But kintama literally means like golden balls. So that's why his family jewels is literally a jewel here. Which I would be interested to know how if they'd bother explaining that all in the English dub. And yes, kintama is where the pun for Gintama came from, the anime series. Because Gin is silver. So instead of gold balls being balls, it's silver balls. So it's a double like pun. So yes, the title of Gintama is basically like whatever lower grade, whatever the second grade of balls would be. When did we get into bronze balls though? Because we got the Kintama, we got the Gintama. Where's the bronze Tama? Anyway, yeah, I like how the one-off character in episode 5 becomes like an actual character in episode 6. So yeah, they go into like a big fight. Okadun and Ayase are fighting. I forget exactly why they're fighting, but there's like some like weird misunderstanding that happens. No, I don't think they're fighting. I don't know. They just get split up somehow. And hold on, I have her name read up. Okay, the pink-haired girl is named Aida. Was it Tevin that watched the dub? Because did they ever explain the why his family jewels are literally golden balls? Because in the sub, I noticed that they translated Kintama to just family jewels, and I guess that gives you the same impression. But you just might not make the immediate connection of like it's literally a golden ball. I saw dub. What do they call these balls in the dub? Do they just call balls or like family jewels? I need to take a drink. I've been talking for way too long. Can I beat the 4-hour streamer allegations? Unlikely. Tevin might not know. Tevin might not know. Okay, anyway, so Aida says like, hey, Ayase, so they're gonna go, Ayase and Okadun split up to look for his balls, and Aida tells Ayase like, hey, I got something I gotta tell you. I feel like Granny says they're coded in her energy or something, but I think they say gold balls or golden orbs. Okay, so it's not, they still say gold balls, referring to his ball sack, but it's not like a pun, because Kintama is like a common like phrase for like, I don't know, like a common euphemism for the family jewels or balls. Anyway, so Aida's like, hey, so Aida says to Ayase, why do so many effing characters have A names? It's almost as bad as Index, where there's a character called Misaka, and there's another character called Mikas... Hold on. Because I'm like... was just looking into this the other day, and that's like another one of my like top 10 anime, and I still can't effing... Yeah, there's Misaki and Misaka. Not to be confused with Misaka. And I think there's another character with like a me name. We're looking it up. We're looking it up on the Index Wiki. Meow, 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 meow. Icy seems to use different vulgar terminology because at some point she definitely calls it a dude nut. That's really funny. Okay, there's Misaka Mikoto. There's Shokuho Misaki. And then there's also Mugino. I was getting confused. Why you gotta have so many similar sounding names? Anyway, Ida says to Ayase, hey, I got something to tell you. Can I talk to you in private for a minute? And Ayase's like, sure. And then she's like, yeah, we just follow me and just I gotta tell you something in private. Follow me to this abandoned warehouse. Like, nothing bad is gonna happen. And guess what? Something bad happened. She also says Family Jewels at some point. Okay, so Family Jewels is like the closest to like Kingdama. So yeah, Ida thinks like she's like the main character, and that Ayase is like some sort of like demon that is like controlling Okarun, and she has a thing for Okarun for some reason. Bad things are never good, yeah. So yeah, and then I'm trying to remember how this went, because I only remember one thing that happened here. That sounds bad. That sounds stupid now that I reread it. Don't worry about it. Me every day of my life. So okay, so Ida tries to kill Ayase by like they tie her up and they're about to like beat her up, and she got her two friends. But then like this monster with like in a red dress and like long black hair comes out, and called Acro Silky, and yeah, she starts fucking things up. She starts fucking things up and like starting killing everybody. Oh yeah, she was following Ida around. That's what happened. So, and then Ida like went to a abandoned warehouse, and that's when Acro Silky decided to show up. But yeah, so then they gotta fight. They gotta go fight Acro Silky, and also Ayase went the whole fight. Ayase has her hands tied behind her back, and it's like a cool fight, and it's really cool, and it's a cool fight, and I like the fight, but I don't have anything to say about the fight, other than conveniently enough. During this fight was when I was actively thinking, like, wow, characters really just survive getting thrown into buildings, because here is Ayase getting thrown, like, 20 feet. Let's just do full screen. Hell yeah. And then she slams into a pile, like, she gets thrown, like, 100,000 feet, like, all the way across the, like, warehouse, and, like, explodes, and then she's like, oh, that really hurt. And she's fine. So there was at this point where I was wondering, like, why are characters just living all these things? Also, cute, funny Ayase face. Cute and funny Ayase face. But then in that very same episode, it's explained, oh yeah, the reason that you guys were fine fighting being slammed into walls is because Okarun and, Ayase have superpowers. Like, Ayase has psychic powers, and Okarun has, like, Turbo Granny powers. Because also Turbo Granny shows up to explain this. And she's, and they're like, yo, so you guys are fine. But, oh, that girl without any powers? Yeah, she's dead. She's just dead. She's dead. She's 100% just dead. She's just super dead. They're like, oh yeah, she's dead. Arya effing died because she was the only one in the fight not to have superpowers. And I'm like, I was not expecting for them to like kill off a character, because again, this is still a shonen, you know, death means nothing. That was built for being absorbed, not damaged. I don't know. They explain it somewhere, like, oh yeah, the reason that you guys are surviving these hits is because you guys had superpowers. But she got no superpowers, and she dead. So I was not expecting that, but I was also not expecting them to just, like, explain why they are able to get thrown into buildings and be fine. I think the biggest offender of that is, Naruto or Hero Academia. Because characters in Naruto and Hero Academia are, like, some of them have, like, powers that make them, like, physically stronger and tougher, but, like, most of them don't. like all Naruto can do is like hit people with a spinny ball. Like, how does he survive getting slammed through buildings and stuff like that? And also same with Deku, where like, especially at the beginning, where he can't even like use his powers, and he gets like slammed into walls. But this show actually explained it, like, oh yeah, they have superpowers, so that's why they have high durability. But she doesn't, cause and she did. But Acro Silky is like, you know, who they thought they defeated, is like, oh yeah, you know, I'll sacrifice myself in order to bring Ida back. I'll sacrifice my life energy and give it to her so that she can live, and then I'll die. And she's like, what? Why the hell would you do that? And then and then what happens is we get this like really tragic and sad backstory of when Acro Silky was alive and not a ghost. I just feel that it's just for being absorbed, yeah. Like, they absorb the hits, kind of. For some way. They just have, like, higher defense because they got powers. Anyway. I don't need much of an explanation. I just need some explanation. So anyway, Acro Silky's like, I'll sacrifice myself to bring Ida back to life. And Ayase's like, why the hell would you do that? And then we go into a really long flashback of, like, when before Acro Silky was a ghost. She was a mom. And she was a single mom, and she had to, you know, do things in order to get money. And there's like this really long ass effing sequence, and it's like really artistic, and there's like barely any dialogue. Like there's like this really long tragic background of like this struggling single mom barely making ends meet with like her 50 jobs, most of which are scandalous. And just to help raise her daughter, and so it's cut between like her working like crappy jobs and like having fun together time with her daughter, and then like somebody, like, she owes somebody money, and then so they decide to like beat her up and then like kidnap her daughter, and then so her daughter gets like taken away, and like, what the fudge? You can't just hit me and it feels like that. Again, it was like the entire like last half of like, I think episode 7, like the entire, I think it's either like the last half of episode 6 or the last half of episode 7. No, it is the last half of episode 7, I think. And they died being swallowed by Silky. Not anything to do with damage. Okay. Yeah, they all got eaten by Acro Silky at some point. But yeah, so they have this big flashback with like really sad music and like barely any dialogue, and like a lot of like screens, a lot of scenes of like things like this. Also, unrelated note, I got weird flashbacks because I've seen this exact timer in like a Daiso, like in Japanese like dollar stores. So I'm like, hey, I know where that is, like in the middle of this like scene. But outside of that, like, yeah, they, like, she's doing really bad things for money, and it's like, oh, it's all worth it because it's all for my daughter, and then her effing daughter gets kidnapped and gone to God knows where, probably dead. I think it was definitely implied to be dead, and then later she died and became a ghost in Acro Silky. And it's like, you know that one reaction gif of, like, the guy crying and going, hey, yo, what the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah, that was me. It's like, what the fudge? That was crazy. Sorry I don't have any much like analysis to say about it, but like every time I think I get an effing read on this show, like, okay, it's like this. They do effing something crazy like this. Cuz I'm like, okay, it's a quirky, like, it's a quirky little shonen rom-com thing. Like I got it. And then they just throw in like this, and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't got it. And then also Ida has a flashback where like effing Ida's mom died when she was young, and so she never had a mom, and then at one point she mistook the ghost of Acro Silky for her mom, and she was like, oh, never mind. And then so like they're like they've made some sort of bond because Ida is like a little girl without a mom, and she's a mom without a little girl, and effing, they meet eye to eye. Oh, skill issue, what the fudge was that in reference to the entirety of this tragic backstory? What the fudge? I love her dress when it's her daughter's dress. Yeah, the red dress that Akira Silky wears was originally like a gift to her daughter. I don't have a screenshot of it, but you get the idea. So I'm like, hey, yo, what the fuck? You can't just do that. You can't just do that. So yeah, Akira Silky dies and Ida lives, comes back to life. Like, what the fudge? That's all I have to say. It's like, what the fudge? Oh yeah, and like, so earlier I was talking about how like the first episode like had really like dark scenes, but at least that had like a layer of comedy where Ayase is like on the table and they're like, oh, we're good guys, really, and she's like, what the fuck, guy? Good guys would rip off a girl's clothes, you know, like they have that kind of attitude to it. This flashback was just like, no talking, only sad music and tragedy. Sorry. But, you know, at least, other than having comedy to hide up to, make the trauma palatable, it does have, like, subtlety. Because, again, it doesn't have, like, any dialogue, and the shots are very, like, artsy and whatnot, so, and a lot of things are, like, just implied. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's one of those things where it's like, listen, if you haven't seen the show, there's no way I can describe it to you other than... And I have no further analysis, like literary analysis for it, other than shit fucked. But yeah, it still does have like a layer of like subtlety to make it not as traumatizing as it could be, but still. In the manga, they show more of the jumping off of the roof to the mom. Oh, I see. That's crazy. I did hear that the anime toned down like some of the fan service. I say some, but there's still like a lot of shots of people being naked, so I don't know. But that's what I've heard. But yeah, I guess it would also make sense to, in conjunction to also censor some of the like violence that happened, especially stuff like that, because it just kind of like she loses her daughter gets kidnapped, and then she goes into like a despair, and then like we just get this dream sequence. Instead of going black and hearing a thud, yeah, I think it does go black and we hear a thud. Anyway, that shit fucked. Next episode. But yeah, I definitely like showing off different ways that anime can obfuscate things. Like before in the first episode, it was using comedy to like make a more tragic scene more palatable, and now it is using like subtlety, so that's cool. So basically, long story short, hey yo, what the fuck? Anyway, see, this is also too close together. I can fix it though. We have the technology. Okay, I only got 364 words of notes left, because the last couple episodes, I would say the first like 7 episodes are like a lot stronger than like the last like 4 episodes, but like that's still like 7 out of 4 episodes, so like that's, and we're getting a season 2, so like, you know, whatever. So I have slightly less to say. Slightly, I can't speak anymore, I'm sorry. I have less to say about the last half, so we might be able to get in under 3 hours, which is what I was aiming for, because I don't want to make these like podcast streams like too super long, but you know how it goes. You know how it be. I yap. So yeah, Ida just kind of becomes a reoccurring character. And they have this like big fight where I actually want to, after this stream, I want to watch this scene in dub, because like they're like eating soba noodles and like having an argument, and like while like they're stuffing their face, they're like having an argument, so they're like, so all you hear is like and so they have to put like subtitles so you can actually like understand what they're saying. So that's why I did this. And also, ISA's still got drip. If I ever mix up ISA and Ida's name, I'm sorry. It will happen. If it's not happened already, it will happen. But I'm curious. I'm assuming it just works the same in the dub, where they're just like, you can barely hear them, but there's subtitles. But I also subtitled this. Subtitles on screen for the dub, yeah, okay. Because then, I just want to subtitle this, because they do... ISA specifically calls Ida a Chunibyo, which is the first 3 kanji of this. Chunibyo ko jiran se tenja. Again, it's hard to... ISA, again, as I said at the beginning of the stream, it doesn't speak like a regular anime character, so she uses a lot of, like, slang. But this basically translates to aren't you just being a dumb Chinibyo? She's insulting her. Because Ida, like, thinks she's, like, the main character and that she was put on this earth to do good and be beautiful and defeat ISA and her minions. Also, I really want to know how the dub handled this scene, because during that argument, while they're, like, yelling at each other, like, what they're saying gets, like, thrown on screen. And then they, like, swipe it away. Like, I think that was a fun, like, visual variety. Where, like, we have the text appears on screen, and then, like, they do, like, ISA does, like, a sweeping hand motion to just, like, gesture, but that also, like, sweeps her across the, like, text. I can't imagine that they, like, they went to that much effort. In the dub, ISA loves calling Ida a hoe. You know, I think I got that same impression, even though I didn't watch the dub. Because when I was doing that muttering thing, I did say something like, you a hoe or something. Or that bitch. Which is all. So, you know, I definitely did get the correct character reading. So yeah, Ida does have some sort of, like, redeeming quality. Like she's, like, the main character and she kind of wants to help. But at the same time, are you a toe or a hoe? Dochimo Idas? I don't know what you... Anyway, so yeah, I still don't like Isa, because she's just still a jerk. I mean, she has somewhat of redeemable quality, but, she's still just mostly a jerk for the most part. But yeah, so then we go to, rom-com. A Toho? It's Toho, if you want to make that joke, please. But yeah, so, I just love how quickly this show can switch between, shonen, rom-com, and horror. Because the first part of this episode is like a rom-com, where Ayase is looking for Okarun, and she finds him doing this. And Okarun's like, no, it's a big misunderstanding. She was trying to come on to me, and we got into a fight, and I accidentally knocked her over. It was like, don't worry about it. But so yeah, and then so they start the episode with that, and then the episode turns into like a psychological horror. Hold on. The episode turns into a psychological horror because all of a sudden, like, everything goes dark, and this effing monster with, like, glowing eyes starts, like, lurking about, and like, music gets all scary, and the monster, like, shoots a giant laser beam that, like, nearly kills everybody, that nearly kills Isa. And then the episode ends with them having, like a fight, and then Ida, like, reveals that she has, like, superpowers and that she has parts of, like, Acro Silky's power. So, like, an episode started with a rom-com, and then was like did a slight dip toe bleh. The episode started with, like, rom-com misunderstanding, then it dipped its toes into horror, and then it ended with, like, a shonen, like, now I'll show you my real power kind of thing. So, like, what the fudge? And it all works very well. It all seamlessly, like, flows together really nicely. So I'm just saying, I like it. But yeah, I'm not sure why Ida is lusting after Okarun. Here's her watching her dad's love research material. Listen, I'm not a huge fan of Ida, but that was a funny moment. Because she tried to, like, just straight up kiss Okarun, because he's like, that's what you do when you like somebody, right? You just start going to town on them. I saw in my dad's learning collection. Is what she calls it. And also, during the rom-com scene, the teacher, they were, like, in the background, the teacher was, like, talking about, oh yeah, you know, these underwater crab things, can punch at 1 billion miles per hour, and it's really cool. And immediately I'm like, okay, the next ghost or alien or whatever that they're gonna fight is gonna have that power, and I was correct. I was correct. They do that again later, where, like, the background classroom topic is relevant to what's actually going to happen. I didn't get a screenshot of it, but there's another shot of... Because at this moment, ISA is just, like, Saul, Okarun with, Ida, and she's like, oh, that thing is really living anymore. I wish I could effing... She's like, oh no, she's not depressed. She's more angry than depressed. Although those are two very similar emotions. But she's like, I wish I could just punch something at Mach 2 like this crab. Anyway. It's a fun episode. I know I just said that the later half of this series is not as good as the first half, but I like this episode. But then afterwards, it starts to, like, fight, because we got ISA. We got Ida. I can't do this anymore. I'm okay. But yeah, so then episode 9 is just like they have a big fight because the aliens are back and they hired like this like another alien who's like a crab boxer guy. Shira Tori? What? Is that another character's name in this show? Because I could not tell you. Mantis Shrimp. That's what I think these things are called. Because the guy that they fight is called Mr. Mantis Shrimp. Did my internet die or did my browser die? It still says I'm streaming. Your stream quality is good. Okay. Shako-san. Chaco. Mantis shrimp. Any marine crustacean of older mantis shrimp. Ida Shiratori. Okay. 4K quality. What are we talking about anymore? Anyway, so they have this really crazy ass fight where like the aliens have hired both the mantis shrimp and also the goddamn Loch Ness monster, who was that guy, to effing fight them. And I'm like, I guess they gave the I don't know how they got them. Well, they explain later how they got the mantis shrimp to work for them, but I don't know how they got the Loch Ness monster to work for the aliens. Other than maybe they gave them 350. That's definitely it. They gave the Loch Ness monster 350, and Loch Ness monster's like, okay, I'll laser beam this girl in the face. Because the aliens are like, oh, you have unique powers, so we want to extract it from you. So, in addition to trying to look for the balls, because they did get one ball from Ida, but he's still missing another ball. So in addition to looking for Okarun's missing ball, golden ball, they also are being hunted down for their powers by the aliens. The goddamn Loch Ness monster. Also, during this, again, I don't have much to say other than there's a really cool underwater fight where like the aliens and the mantis shrimp and the Loch Ness monster all fuse together into this like horrid like beast, and they're all like fighting in their underwear and they're fighting like underwater, which is not like a thing that you see a lot in a lot of like battle shows where they really use the space of like fighting underwater, and it's really cool. But also during that fight we just have to appreciate the fact that I love in cinematography when they have conveniently placed objects to hide genitalia. They do it here, and then they have like a convenient like piece of debris covering his. It's really funny. I also like this shot where ISA is like trying to like the aliens have a barrier to like try to stop them from moving, and ISA has to like hold back that barrier. But then Ida calls Okarun by his real name, which causes ISA to swoon, and it does a really funny zoom in on her face. I did not crop this image. That this is an actual screenshot from the show. The show literally just zoomed in on her face without like increasing the quality at all, and it was really funny. Another reason why it's hard to do a discussion about this show is because like a lot of what I like about the show is very visual, not something that I can like go through and discuss. Other than yeah, this shot is really cool of Ida with Acro Silky's powers, you flipping around and jumping and kicking and stuff. Listen, I know I like my literacy and my depth and all my other, you know, my analysis and whatnot, but at the end of but also in addition to that, I also like me a good shonen fight scene, okay? Cannot deny, at the end of the day, a good shonen fight scene. Also, this really cool where they're, like, arguing underwater about the misunderstanding from earlier. Where they're, like, resolving that. They do a good job of, like, blending the shonen with the rom-com. It's really good. But again, I don't have much to say, I know. I should just clip, like, I should just make a clip of, like, every time I say, yeah, I don't have a lot to say about this scene in a 3-hour stream of talking about an anime. Clearly, I had nothing to say. I talked about nothing for 3 hours. Another shot that I like. Because, after that fight, they're just kind of, like, the, like, barrier that the aliens put up just disappears, and now they're all, like, wet and naked in the middle of the school. That's funny. And then for some reason we just have this like for like one scene they go to like the nurse's office, and the nurse is like, who did this to you? Let me punish them. And she offers to whip the bullies that forced them to be naked in the hallway. And I'm like, why? Is this character gonna come back later? Because she just shows up and is like, do you want me to whip someone for you? I can whip someone for you. And they're like, no, we're good. And then she never appears at all throughout the rest of the show. What the fudge? Here's more cute ISA pictures. Tony runs like an effing Titan from Attack on Titan. That's really funny. Ah! That seems to be a gag. Like a running gag, or like a gag? Are we still talking about what are we talking about? Also, I'm just noticing the Irastoria like picture in the background on the left. It's interesting. Because having lived in Japan for 3 years, as soon as like Irastoria like blew up and like was like used in like everywhere. That Shiratori can't run. Okay. Who's Shiratori? Ida? Okay. I didn't notice that, but I also might have just gotten lost in everything. Because listen, I do pay attention, like when I watch anime, like I turn off the second monitor, I turn my phone off, I effing sit down and watch the anime. Okay? Like, anime is like that one thing where I'm like, okay, no extra screen. I turn off the light in my room, no distraction, just anime. And I take notes like these, but there's still, like, even watching it like that, there's still some things that, like, slip through the cracks. But yes, knowing the show, I believe you in the fact that they would make a bit of her not being able to run, and then her superpower is Acro Silky. They do also make a big thing about, Okarun, like, the limiting to his power is that his physical body cannot take Turbo Granny's power, so he has to, like, train. But that's just, like, standard, like, shonen stuff. We don't have to worry about that. Anyway, here's some more cute ISA pictures. Don't worry about that. Have I ever mentioned that, I really like the character design of bangs that kind of, like, cross in the front and kind of make a little cross that ISA has. I don't know. I just really like that a lot. I think it's cute. It makes a good like framing for the eye, and it's also just this distinctive hair trait that I like a lot. It's just one of those like weird random like anime things that I'm like, oh yeah, that's a lot of characters have that. And also another thing that a lot of anime characters have is like the hairpin that's like an M and then a dash. I wish I could find an example of it, but that's just a thing that like a lot of anime characters have. Actually, doesn't Mint have that in her character design? We're getting off topic. Maid Mint. Okay, Maid Mint has an X. It's not a W. It's an X of like a hair tie piece. Where's like her like character sheet? Or like reference sheet. There it is. Podcast listeners, I'm sorry, but look up Maid Minto VTuber. Maid Mint VTuber, and you'll see what I'm talking about. About how like she has that character trope thing of like having a like an X-shaped hairband thing. That's big. That's big. That also echoed. But yeah, you see in her hair how it's like X. That's a thing that happens often, that I see a lot in anime hairstyle designs. Often it's also paired with another like line like right below or above it. Again, things that I notice and I like and I appreciate, and I see that anime puts it in, and I'm just recognizing it. Okay, I'm just recognizing. I'm seeing that you cooked. Okay, and I appreciate that you cooked. I don't know if a lot of other people would notice things like that, but I noticed it and I liked it a lot. And then they have like an interrogation scene where her friends are like interrogated, like, why were you naked with Okarun if you're supposedly not involved? And then Ida has a little moment where she's like, okay, you know, all the students are like, oh, I bet ISA did this. I heard that she's a hoe. And Ida's like, in a one moment of redeeming character qualities, like, that's not true. She did not strip me naked. She also is not a hoe. I've spread that fake rumor. And all the students are like, oh. Also, is that guy in the glasses in the back, like, way bigger than he's supposed to be? Or am I just crazy? So that's a kind of a character moment, but she still is kind of an a-hole. Is that later in... Where does that happen? Actually, I think it is here, but it's not saved in my regular screenshot folder, because I wanted to capture the subtitles too. Because there's a scene afterwards where Ida's like all alone, and ISA is like talking to her. Where is it? Why do I have so many gosh dang screenshots? Oh, here it is. I found it. I found it. It's way too effing big. But I found the screenshot. Where she says, you always have people stringing behind you like goldfish turds. That's really good. It's also what she said in Japanese too. Like, more or less. And I think that's a really good, like, not metaphor, analogy of like, oh yeah, there's always like a crowd of people following right behind you, just like goldfish turds following out of their butt. If Tevin is still here, I'd be interested in what that says in the dub, because I did not check. I could have checked, but I just did not. I can check right now. What episode was it? Meow, 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 meow. I think it was either episode 9 or 10. No. Where the fudge am I? Was it really episode 10? That was episode 10. Okay. We're looking for it. Same thing? Okay. We're looking for that moment. Choto mate kudasai. I found it. 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 I found it.
Yeah, it did. Hates you now.
How come you're out here by yourself then? Usually you got folks stringing behind you like goldfish turds.
Good, I like that they kept that. I like that they kept that. Anyway, not important. And I just wanted to point out that funny line. And this is how we don't beat the 4-hour streamer allegations. It might not be under 3 hours, but it'll be under 4 hours. Don't worry about it. So anyway, we meet up with Mr. Mantis guy, and ISA's got the drip on, where she's got like an oversized hoodie with a fish on it that says "Ua," and I don't know what the fudge that's supposed to mean, but I like it. But yeah, we get like a Mantis shrimp guy who, like, after the battle, they took him in and they healed him up because they're like, oh, you know, he was just being paid off by the aliens to do this. Like, I'm sure he's not a bad guy. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm not a bad guy. I was just hired by the aliens. And he's like, you see, my son, he's very sick. So, like, we get this kind of, like, not a tragic backstory like Acro Silky, but we do get a fun, sad backstory, if that makes any sense, of Mantis Shrimp guy being like, I came here in order to pay for my son's medicine, because my son has a disease where he loses all of his blood, and that's the same thing that killed my wife, and I don't want to lose him too. So he has this like huge thing, and they're like, by the way, when we were patching you up earlier, we noticed that your blood is just milk. So we could just get you a cow, and then there you go. You got your son right there, because his son needs like a daily like blood transfusion, and that's why he took that job in order to pay for it. But they're like, it's just, your blood is just milk, so we can just literally give you a cow. And he's like, oh my god, thank you so much, I do not deserve you. I love Mantis Shrimp. He's milk, blood, milk, bloody hell. His blood is, this alien blood is the same thing as milk. And they kind of explain it by the fact of like, oh yeah, milk is kind of like similar to blood. It has like parts of like blood in it, so it's not so far weird to see that like blood and milk are kind of like, can be interchangeable between different alien species. So they just kind of give him a cow. and then they have this, they just cut to this scene where there's this giant UFO abducting this cow, and him going over a loudspeaker of like, thank you so much, humans, you have saved my life and my son, I will always remember you. And then he's just like gone. And then there's also a funny bit where Isa's grandma still doesn't believe in aliens, and they're like, he's just an alien, and she's like, he could just be like a kappa or something, like he's just a yokai, he's just a whatever. Probably should have given multiple cows. Well, if it's just like, you know how much milk a cow can produce, one cow can produce? And his son did not look that big, so probably one cow is gonna be fine. They're gonna be effed when that cow dies. I'm sure that they'll get him a new cow. You can just come back for a new cow. It's fine. How long do cows live? 20 years. He'll be fine. By the time that cow dies, I'm sure his son will have grown up and have gotten over his disease or whatever. So yeah, it's a really fun moment. And so when the alien ship disappears, ISA tells her grandma, like, you believe in aliens now? You see that shit? You see that shit that just happened? You tell me aliens aren't real? And she's like, it still could have been a kappa. So I love Mantis Shrimp guy. I hope he comes back. Again, no spoilers from season 2 or the manga. But I like Mantis Shrimp. I hope he comes back. Moo! I want to do another Freedom Planet stream. Not a Freedom Planet, Freedom Wars stream. I have a funny bit for that. because I've got another outfit, and it's also cow themed, so that's just gonna be the theme of all my outfits. Because I found a way to make it look like the undershirt was like a cow print like t-shirt. I'll show it next time I play a game on PS5. Anyway, not important right now. That's the end of episode 10. So, you know what? Maybe I take it back. Maybe it's just the last 2 episodes that kind of end on a quiet, wet fart. I also like how they cut from like this milk shot to this shot, and that kind of has like similar shot composition of like a large tower viewed from below. You see what I'm going at? You see what I'm getting at? I don't think I need this to be full screened anymore. I do need to be a little bit bigger than that. You see how these 2 shots are kind of similar? Oh. So, yeah, the series ends on a low, some quiet, wet fart. So yeah, never mind. I take it back. Only like the last 2 episodes are a little disappointing, and they're only disappointing because here we'll officially get into episodes 11 and 12, so we can say full spoilers. Oops. Meow, meow, meow. Okay. But yeah, I really hope Mantis Shrimp comes back. Mantis Shrimp is my Oshi now. If it's not already ISA actually might be my favorite character in the series. Maui. The cat is still sleeping. Oh, she's so cute. She's adorable when she's asleep and not being a menace to society. She was giving me like an actual like headache earlier because she would just not shut the hell up. And what she wanted was the stupidest thing in the entire world. She just wanted a different blanket because before she wanted to sleep on the tortilla blanket, and so I switched out. Like there's like a pink blanket that I think you could see in like some post that I made on Blue Sky. But I pulled out the tortilla blanket and she liked that more, so I put away the pink blanket, and then she was fine with that for like a couple of weeks, and then earlier today she was just like rah, 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 for like an hour straight, and I'm like, what do you want, cat? What do you want? And then I eventually brought out the old like pink blanket, and she's like, oh, that's what I want, and then she fell asleep immediately. And I'm like, what do you mean? So now she just has both blankets. Also, in case you were worried about the cat, Cupcake is fine. She was sick earlier, but we gave her medicine, and now she's doing a lot better. She gained, she was like losing like weight, and like her hair was like thinning out, and like, yeah, she wasn't eating. So, and she's like 18, 19, I think this March. I think her birthday is like, I think she'll be like 19 in March. So I was like, oh, she might die. This might be the end for her. But no, we gave her the medicine, and she bounced back, and now she's as good as ever. She'll be living for another 20 years. That cat's never gonna die. Anyway, good, yeah. Again, the cat is cute when she's sleeping and not being a menace to society. Okay, so episode 10 to 11 and 12 are cool, but the series just ends on a, like, not even on, I wouldn't even say on a cliffhanger. It just kind of just stops. Like, it stops at, like, I suspect that this show was originally going to be, like, a 24-episode show, but they decided they had to split it because of, like, production, and, like, because, like, look at all of this crazy-ass animation. So that's probably what happened. So they probably didn't intend it to end like that, but it just kind of just ends. Like, they're like, oh my gosh, what's this thing? And then ends. Like, it's not even like a big, like, end of season cliffhanger. It's like just a very minor, like, it is still a cliffhanger, but it's like a very minor, like, end of episode cliffhanger. Tune in next week. I don't think it was the budget. I want to just say it was like, I'm sure it was just planned to be like 24 episodes, but like, they're like, Yeah, we want to cook we're cooking way harder than we intended to cook, so it's gonna take us a little longer. So they probably had to like split it. But the unfortunate side effect is that until when's the next season happening? Until July, we just kind of gotta sit with a very unsatisfying ending. But anyway, so we get like the beginning of the next arc, but we don't get like any resolution to it. But yeah, so we get the final fourth character that the final side character that we saw in the opening, which is Gigi, I think is his name. I wrote down Gigi, but I think his name is Gen Enoji. Yeah, Gigi. Trying to find his name on the Wikipedia without looking at too much into spoilers because I won't be spoiled on what happened. Because again, they start this arc and then don't end it. But yeah, so they introduce Ayase's childhood friend Gigi, and then we're thrown back into rom-com. Because we're like, Okadun's like, who is this mysterious guy that is after Magal? And we like see like that like reflected in his glasses, which happens a couple of times in the series. I like that. But it turns out that he's just a big jokester. Like he shows up and he's like super cool, and he's like an athlete and he's like super cool. And then he just starts acting like a goddamn idiot and making these faces. And I screenshotted this specifically for Gigi's dab thing that he does here. There's no other reason that I wanted to screenshot this shot. Anyway. Very odd personality, to be honest. I mean, that's kind of what the show is like full of like Ida's also kind of like the same way, where like on the surface she's an a-hole, but actually, you know, she's kind on the inside, I suppose. And also Ayase, I had to look at my notes. Ayase, you know, she on the surface seems like a, you know, like a angry gal, but she's a nice on the inside, stuff like that. So I can see what they're going with the character of like, oh, everyone thinks that he's like this cool, quiet jock guy, but he's actually just a big doof. He's actually just a big doof. I can't get a read on him at all. I think he's just supposed to be like the side character who's friends, you know, because later like he becomes friends with Okadun, and he's like, wow, my first real friend outside of Ayase. That's cool. I don't know why I screenshotted this, other than I thought that was funny. Oh yeah, I screenshotted this to remind me to talk about, because I didn't put it in my notes. That Ida and Ayase are still fighting. Because they're kind of friends. They went through like the whole like fight with the mantis shrimp and the goddamn Loch Ness monster wants 350 and the aliens. But she's like, I still don't trust you. Screw you. So yeah. Also, I saw Toast that you said your nephew was also killing you, which I'm assuming just being a headache like the cat was. I don't know, but I think this is just another cute Ayase screenshot. But yeah, so they're still fighting. Don't worry about that one. Oh yeah, they have like this. I like this shot composition, because Okadun is kind of like leaving the scene, and Gigi, the childhood friend, is still there, and he's kind of like leaving, and like he's like in this frame, like Ayase is like in the background and lit up, and Okadun's in the foreground and like dark, so you can feel like. You can feel a separate. If we analyze the shot composition here, you can see that they were feeling a sense of separation between these two characters. There, I did some analysis. I hope you're happy. I had that big analysis at the beginning about power of anime and art in general is obfuscating things to make uncomfortable topics more more palatable to talk about, and then the rest of the stream was just like, oh my god, it's a goddamn Loch Ness monster shooting a laser beam. They sing a song to power up. They fight. They kept the song Japanese in the dub. That's interesting. I'm assuming just because it's a song, meaning I have no idea what they're saying. It's not particularly noteworthy if you're talking about like the thing that Mantis Shrimp is singing, or maybe you're talking about something else. But he, like, Mantis Shrimp, like, sings to himself like during the entirety, and it's just nonsense. I think this happens multiple times. Yeah, definitely. Just talking about like the Mantis Shrimp singing, and yeah, it's nonsense. Don't worry about it. It's like, little girl come to town, skip a pack of biscuits, like crazy things like that. Japanese a businessman. He says that at some point in the Japanese version. He says in English, Japanese a businessman. Excuse what I missed. My nephew called. Oh, okay. I was just saying, I was doing some analysis of this shot of how they're separated with the foreground and background, and also by lighting, which means which is signifying an emotional separation. And then Tevin was like, hey, remember that time Mantis Shrimp was singing Japanese a businessman? But yeah, Mantis Shrimp is just talking about getting this bread. Emotional damage. I think there was like some kid at school that worked at a school. There was some kid at school who, like, 6-year-old who screamed that at some point, and I don't know what it was in reference to, but I just hear from the other side of the room, emotional damage. And I'm like, do I need to break up a fight over there, you two? Anyway, yeah, they are like, there's a new man in Ayase's life, and Okarun is jealous. That's wild. The other day, one of the other teachers, like, made an announcement to the whole class and was like, okay, listen, from here on out, no more roast battles, okay? And people are starting to cry. And I'm like, where did you get that term? And I'm like, the kids said that they were doing roast battles. And I'm like, okay. So, roast battles are now a thing that we have to officially ban. Cray cray. Crying is crazy. Just imagining like two like third graders, like, your Jordans are fake. You are maidenless. You haven't even considered buying Spotify Premium with like the Vine boom happening. And the other kid just like, I wanna go home. Weak ass kids. It's funny. Anyway, so but yeah, anyway, back to, kids would definitely say those things. You know what, you're not entirely wrong. Anyway, one thing about GG, like, up here, like his first introduction is like, he's all cool and he's the jock and he's like the love rival, and he's actually like a big dumb goof. Caught me off guard, and it really should not have. After 10 episodes of this show, and also Ida, you think I would be used to the show's nonsense by now, but nope. Episode 11 still getting thrown off. You're Adopted was the best comeback in my years of that thing, which wasn't long ago. Yeah, because yeah, that was a long time ago. You're like in the 4th grade now, right? Yeah. So yeah, okay. But despite that guy being a doof, also like, oh yeah, that's why I saved these two scenes, because ISA grandma is explaining something, and then she points with her foot, and the camera like lines up to like point to show that she is pointing with her foot. I think that's funny. Actually, I'm in the 5th grade. But yeah, Okarun is very upset about this new man in Ayase's life. Mom, put them dog toes away. Are you uncomfortable with feet? Because I think this is just funny. I can make the feet bigger. I can make the feet bigger. Now she's pointing at me. Why they look like that though? I mean, they just look like feet. She's got weird like little like socks on, but I think that's just like samurai stuff. They're growing mold. They're not growing mold. No, those are pants. Yeah, there's like samurai pants on or whatever you could see in the previous shot. No, those are socks. They're not attached to her purple pants. Those are just like the weird sock thing. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. She also has like this like stomach cozy that she like sometimes like rests her hand in. You can see it in this scene. Yeah. Her outfit is weird and I like it. Yeah, she got like weird thigh-high socks on that don't like completely cover her foot. More frames of angry Isa. Thigh-high socks with the dogs hanging out. But anyway, so earlier, you remember earlier where they were talking about in the background of the class, like the class that was happening in the background was talking about mantis shrimp, and later a mantis shrimp appeared and that was like the next boss. They're in this scene where Okarun is like agonizing over Gigi. Like the class that's happening in the background is also related to the episode, and this time the teacher is explaining the English word for jealous. He's like, jealous is a noun or adjective that means. So I just think it's funny that like that might be like not even a thing like in the manga, like especially I think in the again I've not read the manga, but for like where they were talking about the mantis shrimp, like sure that's like plot relevant and like foreshadowing and whatnot, but like this was just like something that was casually happening in the background that was just happened to be related to what was happening. But I find it interesting that in the first like episode, oh no, I think it was in episode 2, Isa was calling Okarun out for making lots of assumptions about people, and that's why you don't have any friends. Because Okarun's like, oh, after this incident, you know, I'll leave you alone. You probably, someone like you probably doesn't want to be associated with somebody like me anyway. And Isa's like, you see, that's weird that you're full of shit. Because you make assumptions about what people want, and you close yourself off, and that's the bullshit you got. But apparently he never learned that lesson, because now he's back to making assumptions, because he's like, oh my gosh, Gigi is, you know, they're you know, like, Gigi is introduced to Okarun as Ayase's first love, and they're clearly not in love anymore. That was, like, when they were, like, kids, which I think Gigi was also foreshadowed in the first episode, because, Ayase was like, oh yeah, the guy I liked, you know, made fun of me because I was into aliens or into ghosts, and I think that guy was the same guy. I'm just now putting it together. Anyway, but yeah, Okarun is doing the same, falling into the same pitfall where he's making a lot of assumptions about relationship and like, oh, she just wants to be with Gigi now and doesn't care about me anymore. You know, I'll just, you know, avoid her and make her life easier, and like, yeah, and she just goes back to being like, I'm assuming if she heard him say this, she would say the same crap that she said in episode 2, which is, yes, Gigi's the kid in the hat from the flashback. That's crazy. So I do want to like rewatch this show, A, to watch the dub, and B, just to like catch all that stuff. Because the animation alone, I think, is worth putting up with the dub for, just so you can focus on the animation. Anyway. But yeah, but again, because this arc does not get resolved, so hopefully that happens. But yeah, they have a funny moment where they kind of combine the rom-com and the shonen thing, because like this like figure skeleton guy like appears, and they're like, oh, it looks like he has one of Okarun's balls, so we got to go after them, and we have like this big shonen fight scene with them, and it turns out he just wanted to be with his anatomical model wife. And that encourages Okarun to be like, oh, I gotta, stand up and, tell her how I feel just like them, So I like I like how well this show blends, like, rom-com and shonen together. It's something that you don't see a whole lot. I mean, there are, like, some shonen with, like, some rom-com elements, or, like, battle anime with some rom-com elements, but, you just have a lot of, like half of this episode was solely dedicated to rom-com, and the last half of the episode was solely dedicated to shonen, but they still like tied together in a neat way. I think those two have referential voice actors in the Japanese version.
Referential.
Referential? What does that mean? What does that mean? You broke me. It broke me. This stream goes over 3 hours, which it is definitely going to, unless I can wrap this up in the next 11 minutes. You broke me. It's your fault. I think those two have referential voice actors in the Japanese version. Referential. Referring to what? Oh my god. Am I being an idiot? No, I'm thinking I'm cringe. Devin, explain what you're talking about. I have too small of a pea brain to think about stuff like that. Tevin's not. Tevin's not. Female one is voiced by Fumi Hirano, who is Loom from Yuda's. Oh, they like reference another series with their voice actors and what role they are playing. Is that what you're trying? Is that the message that you're trying to communicate to my pea brain? I have another HoloLens. Oh, this is transparent. I didn't even realize this was I need to put this on like my starting screen. Wake up, 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 wake up. Okay, done. Work. It's time for school. Echo Silky's daughter's got 0 favorites on Mal. That's crazy. Yeah. I'm looking up voice actors. Yes, she was Hana, who's the female anatomical model, is Hirano Fumi, who is Lum from Urusei Yatsura, but I don't know who the other guy is. There's male teacher. There's Momo's ex-boyfriend. Muko was one of the girls' names. Purple bad guy? Who's purple bad guy? TV station producer. Okay, here we go. Taro was the main character Gintoki from Gintama. Also Kyon from Haruhi Suzumiya. But it doesn't seem like he's in Urusei Yatsura. Do I know this one? I'm like, oh. Oh, okay. Because I'm like, oh, he's the main guy from Canon, and I'm like, what is this other show? Was there like a sequel to Canon that I didn't watch? But no, there was like something that happened recently, and by recently I mean in 2021, where all the key characters had like special like 4-minute like episodes where they got into wacky hijinks, and I'm like, I should watch that since I'm such a key stand. There, I'm using old terminology. I hope you're happy, Dom. 2021 wasn't that long ago. He's also Kensei in Bleach. This is how we can make this about Bleach. I'm not scared, by the way, anymore, just in case you were wondering. So I'm still not 100% sure what Tevin was talking about. But whatever, you get the idea. 4 years ago was long. No, 2021 was just like 2 years ago at most. It was like a year and a half ago. Also, I like Okaru's shirt in this scene. It says, it's an orange shirt with melon bread in it, and it says melon bread. And I, as an enjoyer of melon bread of all shapes and sizes, I want that shirt. It's also, just looks kind of ugly, but in a cool kind of way. So, I like it. See, ISA is not the only one with drip. Okay, so the reason that Gigi's here is because his parents are in the hospital because his house is haunted. And then we have a slight horror scene where he's like, "Oh my god, I can't effing sleep because it's fucking this thing. Oh my god, what the hell is this thing? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it." This slender man looking ass, big long arm, smiling ass, looking ass, creepy ass, underwear wearing ass. So anyway, Ayase and Okadun. Should I call her Momo? Because I call her Ayase-san in Japanese, which is why the only reason I remembered her name. Also another cute Ayase face and funny Gigi face, where he just kind of, he does that, I think, for like 3 frames, and I noticed that, and I'm like, hold on, I gotta go back and get a screenshot of that. So anyway, they go on a field trip to Gigi's house. Me too. I don't know what you mean by me too, but it's a mood. But yeah, they have another fun camera moment where, you know, Gigi and ISA are just having a conversation, and like he's in the dark and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sad," and then Gigi starts asking Okaru and like, "Hey, so you say that, you know, ghosts and aliens are real? Like, can you tell me more about that?" He's like, "Oh, yes, I can," and he goes like, he like leans forward and like his face gets in the lighting. Like, these are like things that like are very common in like live action stuff, I would assume, if I ever watched live action stuff. But these are not easy techniques to emulate in animation. So you really have to be going out of your way. So I appreciate that. Slender Man long ass monster. Okay. Slender Man long armed squid centipede looking ass monster. You can say ass. It's okay. You're a VIP user. That might give you the ability to say ass. But then they start talking, and he's like, "Wait, you're not really into things." And he's like, "What the fuck?" And they go in and out of like the light, by like Okaru like leaning forward into like lighting and leaning back into the shadow, and also the train like going under a bridge to go dark. Like, they do a lot of cool lighting things in this. I think I put you on the VIP list. Yeah, not important, because VIP doesn't effing do anything, because I thought it would let people post links. So I'm like, yes, I trust you to post links, but it doesn't effing even allow people to do that. Yes, you are on the list of approved users. Won't be filtered for blocked links, blocked words, or potentially inappropriate content. It's the pride of knowing you're on it. Crazy. But yeah, it's according to people who are on the exclusive list that doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything, and they still can't post links. Anyway, we're almost at the end, because again, this just kind of ends abruptly. So they go on a field trip to Gigi's house to go fight a big bad. Okaru is maybe making a friend with Gigi. And he's like, "Oh, it's my first, you know, time talking with somebody outside of, you know, ISA. You know, maybe I'm coming out of my shell and making character development, you know." And And then, like, they get to his house and they're like, oh, everything seems normal. And Ayase goes to, like, relax at a hot spring while they hang out at the house. And, they talk about girls. They do some gossip. Gigi's like, oh, you were, like, in love with Ayase or Momo or whatever the fudge you were calling her. And Okudun's like, oh, well, and then they're like, hey, by the way, was that large section of the house there previously? He's like, no. And then they go to investigate, and there's like this extra room that is attached to that was not there previously, and they bash a hole into it, and they see like a hidden room that's just full of like paper, and it's like really creepy. And then meanwhile, Ayase is at like the hot spring, and like these 4 like obviously ghost alien guys come in, and we have a very similar scene to the beginning of the scene where she's about to get assaulted, and then ends. End of the show. End of the show. Yep, that's it. We don't get to see anything else. What happens? That's it. That's the end. Move on to the next topic. The ending. I completely forgot there was supposed to be a scene in the dub where Gigi sings the theme song and they didn't keep it. Like the theme song of like the opening of the show. The end of Dandadan Dandadan Dandadan. Like during his class introduction. Interesting. Just abruptly ends. But yeah, so that's my best guess is that like, yeah, this was meant to be a 24 episode show, and because they cooked so hard and production probably went on longer than expected, so they had to cut it. Because I definitely think they were gonna change the opening 100%, because the opening only has like things from this season. But that very abrupt cut, like, it doesn't feel like an end of season like cliffhanger. It just kind of feels like an end of episode cliffhanger. Because it's not like this is the big bad guy of the next arc showing up. Like, these are just like some the monster of the week. Like, it's the monsters from the monster of the week. Like, these are not like set up to be like the, you know, season ending final bosses. So I don't know, man. I messed up. I can't spell anymore. Me too, man. Me too. So yeah, I will forgive it because immediately after the airing of the last episode, they announced the season 2. It might have been even before the last episode aired that they announced the season 2. Also, the cat is up and screaming again. Let's see. The last episode aired on December 20th, and the second season was announced December 20th. Okay, so yeah. It was the second season was announced, and I'm assuming like it was supposed to be a 24 episode show, but it just got split. Kitty. So I will forgive it for the moment. So yeah, that was Dandadan 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 Dandadan. What should I kind of am falling out of tune with number ratings, because like my thoughts are what I've been yapping about for the last 3 hours, not necessarily boiled down to a number. But if I have to put it, that what she said. I want to say an 8 out of 10. Which would be like, you know, in the category of like my top 100 favorite anime, but not in the category of like the best of the best, and definitely not in the category of like the top 10. But the only reason I'm thinking of not giving it an 8 is because of that ending. Because that ending like really just like was very horribly unsatisfying. Like, especially for me, like I do not like watching shows week by week. Here for the remainder for the remainder of this stream, I'm gonna go walk down the sidewalk. Where are I? Okay, so anyway. Dandadan 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 Dandadan. I don't remember. Oh yeah, dun 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 dun. It was driving me crazy earlier because I heard it in like I heard that song in like the background of like a video I was watching, but I couldn't remember what game it was from, and I'm like, is it from Mario Kart? And then like an hour later, I was like, oh, it's from Yoshi's Island. Okay. And then another hour later, I'm like, wait, it was also in Mario Kart 2 because there was a Yoshi's Island level in Mario Kart. So yeah, I had a brain fart moment there for a second. Anyway, next. So yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 just because like just the cinematography and like the characterization alone. Like honestly, if season 2 like builds on everything, it could definitely get up to like a 9, but I'm gonna give it an 8 for the moment. Officially on updating on the list. Yes, kitty cat, what do you want? You have both blankets available to you. The cat is behind the corner right there, by the way. I don't know how she got out. I don't know, but I see her right over there behind that corner to my left. Or yeah, to my left, your right. But yeah, I'll give Dandadan an 8. I like the characterization. I like the visuals a lot. I like all the little details and like how the visuals aren't just there to look cool. I mean, for the fight scene, sure, but like even in like the day-to-day like rom-com moments, like they add a lot to the emotion of the scene, and I like that a lot. And I like the characterization and like it's cool, unique way of talking about like serious topics in a easily digestible way. And also I know I should be like, since I'm farther away from the camera, I should be like, so anyway, that was Dandadan. Hold on, let me okay, so I was talking about so as I was saying, Kitty Cat is giving her own opinion. Kitty Cat, what did you think of Dandadan? Oh, now you don't want to say anything. Sir, social distancing. Is this better? Perfect, beautiful, well said, kitty cat. Oh my. The fudge was that? Okay, I don't know. Am I unaware? Did I accidentally do a VTube Studio toggle thing? It was a ghost. So yeah, I give it an 8. If season 2 builds on what season 1 did and like gives us an actual like satisfying character arcs for all of these and actually finishes the show, then I could definitely see it being 9. It's actually a top 100. Do I even have only 100 anime in my top 100? How many 9s and 10s do I have in my list? I have 9 10s in my list, and including both 9s and 10s. Okay, only 40. How many 8s do I have then? Am I really that stingy with 9s? Yeah, if you count 8 and above, I have 169. So I should probably upgrade some 8s to 9s. But I can't think of anything off the top of my head that could go up there. Plastic Memories, maybe. Shirobako, also a potential. No Game, No Life. I'd have to rewatch that. It's been like forever. Railgun S, I should probably definitely move into a 9. 169, yes. On my list of anime that I've seen. 100. Dandadan is now the 169th anime that I've rated an 8 or higher. Should I give Dandadan a 9? I might give Dandadan season 2 a 9. That'll be the cliffhanger. Listen, I'll give you a satisfying cliffhanger for this series. will I give Dandadan season 2 a 9, or will it continue and put it into my like top 20 anime, or will it drop the ball? Who will find out? Maybe we will, when I will probably cover the second season when it finished. It's gonna start airing in July, which means it'll finish airing, if it's like a 12 episode show, it'll finish airing in like September. Like end of September, October. If I'm still alive, I will probably cover Dandadan season 2. Same thing with Oshi no Ko season 3. Like, I've done the first 2 seasons of Oshi no Ko, so I will probably do the 3rd season. Yeah, third season of Oshi no Ko doesn't even have an air date yet. We'll see. Stay tuned for that part. Make sure to hit like. Yeah, if you want to know what my very minor distinction of like not my very arbitrary distinction of if Dandadan gets a 9 or an 8, if you want the exciting conclusion to that story arc, then make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And you hit the notification bell, and you may have 5 stars, and make sure to share it with your friends on MySpace. Get up on Linkster. Is that a real site, Linkster? I don't think Linkster was a real thing. I'm just making crap up at this point. So yeah, Dandadan season 2 will probably be at some points in like sometime after season 2 finishes airing, if I'm still alive by that point. I'm not planning on dying, but you know, never say never. I don't know what that means. I could get isekai like tomorrow, okay? Don't worry about it. But if I'm still around, if I haven't died it yet, if I haven't died of being dead, then I will do that. But as for what it will be the next anime we'll cover, because again, I know I said, okay, 2025, the year of anime, we're going to talk about anime. But it's really turning into the year of Bleach. It's the season of Bleach, okay? If I haven't died because of the death. If you know, all the death hasn't done its death to me yet. But yeah, so I do want to still do anime discussions, but also ideally what I would want to do next is I would like to finish the Bleach discussion, to finish the Arrancar arc before Rebirth of Souls comes out, because Rebirth of Souls covers from the beginning of the series to the Arrancar arc, and in my previous streams, over a year ago at this point, we covered like a lot of like the beginning of Bleach, and to finish the Arrancar arc, it would be 4 more streams, like discussion streams of that, for me to like watch the episodes and then do a discussion stream of them. So if we do that of like every other week, we might be able to do it before Rebirth of Souls comes out. But that, I'm still in the middle of my search for Azarad's body, living body, hopefully. So and I don't want to do it like without him. I mean, I could do it without him. I'm sure he'd like understand like if he's really not available, and I want to do it before Rebirth of Souls comes out, so we can like talk about the anime before the game adaptation. I'm sure he'd like understand, but like I really don't want to do it without him, because I want to do it with him. So that may or may not happen, but I think one way or another, just like personally, I think I want to watch the episodes. Like I want to finish like on my own time the rest of the episodes in the Arrancar arc, like finish my rewatch of them before Rebirth of Souls comes out, with or without the discussion series. So I think that's what I'll probably do. So what I'm basically saying is Bleach discussion may or may not happen. But one way or another, I still want to watch the series even without doing the discussion. So when we get back to for the next the next non-Bleach related anime discussion, it will probably be in March. Yeah, like March or April. The end of March or April. Beginning of April will probably be the next anime discussion. Non-Bleach anime discussion. What is... Okay, that didn't show up on screen, but it was a fly emoji, and what the fudge is that? Fly and butter. What the fudge does that even effing mean? So yeah, the Bleach discussion may or may not happen. Flying butter? What does that have to do with anything of what we were talking about? So yeah, Bleach discussion may or may not happen. Here, if you are interested, I mean, I have the filler. I have a list of episodes to watch. Like in the playlist on the channel, so you can watch those episodes. But if you are lazy, here is the canon. Here's the list of episodes that to watch in Bleach if you want to join in the discussion and you have not already. It's only like, what the fudge was it? Like less than 200 episodes. It's not that bad. It's not that much. You only have like 140 episodes to catch up on if you have not watched any of Bleach. Only 200, right? That's what I'm saying. Bleach is really good and also not that long when it comes to shonen. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, here's my Bleach filler guide. There is some filler that I do want to cover, but I want to finish like the main, like this is the Arrancar arc. This is what the video game Rebirth of Souls is going to cover up to. And we have done, let me actually check. I want to say 167 is the last thing that we did. Let me actually check. Bleach streams the complete collection playlist. Not what I meant to do. Okay, the last episode we covered was from 167. So these are the 4 discussion things that we need to do. So if you just want to, if you really just want to watch for just Bleach, if you really want to watch Bleach just for this and you don't care about spoilers, then just watch these episodes, I guess. If you want to be caught up for the future streams. But also you should watch all the other episodes and also watch our discussion series of those episodes. Because both of those are pretty good and whatever. So yeah, that is what will happen, is that a Bleach discussion may or may not happen before Rebirth of Souls comes out, but I do want to just watch the episodes one with or without the discussion. So the next non-Bleach anime discussion won't be until like March or April, and it will probably be Ranma. Ranma 1/2, because in the poll I was like, I want to do one of these. Which one should I do? Ranma or Dandadan and or either. And Dandadan won. Either was winning for a long time, but you know. Actually, when does the second season of Ranma come out? The Ranma 1/2 2024 remake, by the way. Does it have a release date yet? No. Well, hopefully I'll do I'll watch the first season and do the discussion of that before the second season comes out. I only choose either because I haven't watched either yet. I never know what to do about polls because, like, I don't want to have a poll and then whatever loses the poll I never could do a stream of. So anytime I do a poll, I'm like, both of these all of this will happen at some point eventually. But, just decide which happens first. Yeah. I appreciate a lot, Toast, that you actually went out of your way to watch, Dandadan, because of that discussion. That's why I started discussions in the first place, is to get more people to watch anime and to see how cool anime is. I mean, and yes, I obviously appreciate you know, Tevin 2 and people like Tevin 2 have just seen the anime anyway and watched it. And I'm appreciating anyone who's come to the stream anyway, but I especially appreciate people who just go the extra. I love everyone equally except for the people who have done more things that I want them to do. This is basically what I'm saying. I will also post this filler list on like Blue Sky or whatever for people who want just a Bleach filler list. Because after that, it's 342 to. Okay, so after episode 310, then you skip to 342, and then everything from that till the ending is all canon, except for like 355, but that's like one episode in the middle of that. So this is the only part that you really need a filler guide for, where things like, yeah, you need to like, especially like the last one where like 288 to 297 and then 300, 301, 302 and then 306 to 310, like that was really annoying to watch as it was airing, where they just do like 2 weeks of like canon material and then like 3 weeks of like filler and then a couple more canon and a couple more filler. Was weird. Hi, kitty cat. But yeah, that was what will be happening. But as again, if you have any recommendations for anime that you want me to cover, let me know. I still have Toast list because Toast was the only one to actually put that comment in. Because like maybe I might not be doing, you know, yeah, I'll post this on Blue Sky for anyone who wants it. But yeah, even though I might not be doing an anime discussion of it, I might cover it in some other way, you know? I'm just saying, maybe I'm more. But also, I'll still continue the year of anime because we still got Bleach games to play and Senran Kagura to finish. But yeah, I would say, okay, there's like 4 more Bleach games I want to play before Rebirth of Souls comes out. So you're like, oh, cool, you've already done like 5 Bleach games, so surely you're halfway through. But 2 of those games are really long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's 6 more games, and one of those are like 100 hours, and the other one is like 10 hours. But all the others should only be like 1 hour streams. So we'll see. And I also want to finish Senran Kagura. So anyone who's a fan of me and hates Bleach, A, I'm so sorry that you have to live like this, and B, there's still Senran Kagura. And yes, we have to make this about Sonic. Hey, Sonic, is that Shadow with you? Yeah, isn't he dead? Long story, he's better now. Cool. What happened? Is what happened. Hey, isn't Shadow like dead? Like, nah, don't worry about it. He's fine. Okay. Be chill like Vector. Anyway, so yeah, next stream will probably be, I gotta do shorter streams. I've been like kind of tired and exhausted a lot recently as outside of streams. When I do streams, I'm like pure adrenaline is what is carrying me. He's just a chill guy. Pure adrenaline is carrying me, but I am getting like a little exhausted, and it might be because work hard, but also might be because like I noticed like the past month I've been doing like 3 streams a week, all like 4 hours each. Because like 2 days ago I did a 5-hour Senran Kagura stream, and then a day or 2 before that I did a 3.5-hour rival stream, and then I did a 5.5-hour Bleach stream, and then not too long before that I did a 6-hour Me-Side stream. It is Me-Side, okay? I've been now that I've finally played Me-Side, I've been watching other streams of Me-Side, and people sometimes pronounce it My Side, and I don't know why. It's me side. I don't. Why would you pronounce it my side? Where are you getting the A in that sentence, in that word? It's MISIDE. Me side. Like, you know, like the Nintendo Wii. Do you call the Nintendo Wii the Nintendo Y? All the Y characters on the Wii, on the Y. Who's announcing it like that? Go back to Kinder. I thought that was like a website, but no, you meant like kindergarten. But also go back to Kinder. Okay, but anyway, what I was trying to say is, yeah, I like streaming. I still want to stream, but I should probably do less frequent and shorter streams to at least for a little bit, so I don't burn myself out. Because I'm on the verge of doing that. Because I will probably like literally pass out and fall asleep on the floor. Kinder Joy. Go back to those Kinder eggs, you fool. But yeah. But the next couple of streams that I have planned shouldn't be too long. Because the next Bleach game should only take like 3 hours, and if it doesn't, then I will end at 3 hours. And then Senran Kagura, I will like go down to 3 hours. I think I just mostly wanted to go for longer there because I was like, okay, the beginning was a little slow and I was yapping at the beginning, and I just wanted to like get into the game. And he beat the allegations, maybe at some point. This stream was only 3.5 hours, so that's better than what usually happens. Anyway, 2 more things. I made not a tier list of for Bleach Rebirth of Souls, but who I'm interested in Rebirth of Souls. So basically, I want to learn the whole roster, but Ichigo, Byakuya, Nell, and Puppy Dog are the characters I'm most interested in. But honestly, I do just want to learn the whole roster, so I don't know, man. And one last thing before I go, that will only take another 3 hours to explain. No, it's just, I just wanted to say this again. This is my prediction for the last 8 characters for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. And there will probably be another character announcement. There will probably be a character announcement tomorrow. So I'm ready for me to wake up tomorrow morning and immediately be proven wrong, and I have to go eat a hat. Because I posted that online. I posted this saying, here are my predictions for the final 8 characters. Because they've been doing like 1 character reveal a week, and there's 8 weeks left, so we can assume that there's 8. But I'm like, here's my last character roster prediction for Rebirth of Souls. If I'm wrong, I will eat a hat. No, I don't know why I said that. No, I don't know what that means. But yes, I will keep to my word. I'll figure it out, okay? I don't know how, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, I'm definitely ready to be proven immediately wrong tomorrow. If your prediction is true, I will eat a hat. Oh, hell yeah. Hats are getting eaten one way or the other tomorrow. I'm excited. But yeah, next actual stream probably be Wednesday. Would normally be Tuesday, but I might want to rest a little bit because I'm running on fumes right now. But yeah, that's Dandadan. Dandadan is cool. Can't wait for season 2. More anime and Bleach streams and other random streams that I feel like doing next time. I will say the next Bleach game is Blade Battlers on the PlayStation 2. Which, if you ever played Power Stone, which I haven't played Power Stone, but I've seen gameplay of both Blade Battlers and Power Stone, and it looks like a Power Stone thing, which is like a 3D like party like fighting game. But that will probably be on Wednesday, or it might not be. But that's the current plan. It might change. I might die. But we'll see about that one. Anyway, but for now, I rest. So thank you all for joining me, and But yeah, thank you all for joining me. I appreciate this is my true passion project. So I especially appreciate anyone who tunes into these streams. I mean, I appreciate anyone who tunes into any streams, but you know how it goes. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If I don't post this on Blue Sky, before like the end of tomorrow, please yell at me. Okay, now I sleep. Thank you for watching. Remember, anime is awesome. And until next time, stay fresh, cheese bags. Into the trees I go.